All right. We are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining. We got a whole lot going on all over the internets, all over mainstream media, all over everywhere. And I thank y'all for joining. You could be almost anywhere in the world. If your state, city, town, or whatever is open, but you're right here with me live on the show. Thank y'all again for being here. This show will be available on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether that be Apple iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, etc. A link for that will be in the description box below. We got a whole lot going on. We got to talk about the fortified election, not the rigged election, because it didn't rig it. There was no rigging, but there was fortifying. That's what we're going to say. There was fortifying going on. They admitted it. They put out a whole article on Time Magazine talking about how they fortified the election. So we'll talk about that also. Bank of America, what are they doing? You know, the story was first broken on Tucker Carlson, and they did a follow-up. And then there was a lawyer talking about, hey, Fourth Amendment rights may have been violated here. Was there a subpoena for specific people? Was there any kind of probable cause? What's going on with the whole sweep of people's banking data to see who was where and when? We'll talk about that. Also, we got to talk about the whole Van Jones thing, and a whole lot more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And I thank y'all again for being here. Definitely appreciate you guys. If you enjoyed what you are hearing so far, if you enjoy the channel in general and the content that I provide, please give the video a thumbs up, share the video, do all that good stuff. We got a whole lot going on here. Let's talk about this fortified election. I'm going to get straight into it. I'm going to hop straight feet first into the whole situation. Now, for months and months, what is the mainstream media, social media, left, right, politicians, whatever they said? Oh, there was no rigging going on. It was free and it was fair and it was fine and it was all good and it was no. That's what they said. They said everything was fine. Everything was above board. And any allegations of anything kind of screwy, that was just us making stuff up. We're just conspiracy theorists. QAnon, that was the thing they really tried to put on this. Oh, you guys are just believing in Q stuff. You know, I could say, hey man, it's kind of cloudy today. Oh, you're a Q believer. It's like I'm seeing the sky right now. It's kind of cloudy. I'm not believing in something else online. I'm looking at it with my own two eyes. The sky is cloudy. I mean, nah, QAnon, Q supporter. That's what they said to us for many months. You couldn't even publish certain stories, right? You couldn't publish the Joe Biden, Hunter Biden story. Remember that from New York Post? They said that was fake news. They said this is just a conspiracy theory. Even on Fox News, which is kind of like not even really, you know, it's just like whatever at this point. But Kennedy, the young lady or older lady, not really sure, but anyway, Kennedy was harassing Giuliani, talking about, oh, you're like Christopher Steele, all these conspiracy theories, because he was presenting the New York, New York Post article. This is not his information. This is not his story that he wrote himself. This is on the New York Post, like the oldest paper in the USA. I'm talking about before slavery was over with. This paper was around. Early 1800s. It's been around since then. One of the more respected and reputable sources in the world. Oh, that's fake. You're like Christopher Steele. What? In the article, what did it say? It said Hunter Biden got this crazy laptop. He left it at the repairman shop in Delaware. He's on there smoking crack and all types of stuff. Oh, that's from Eastern Europe. That's fake. You couldn't even publish the story. You couldn't share the story on Twitter. So now that we're, past inauguration, well past the election, and things are kind of dying down a little bit as far as any kind of challenging of the election, what does the elite do? They put out a whole article on Time Magazine talking about how they, quote unquote, fortified the election. Their words, not mine. I'm not saying they rigged it. In the article, they said, well, we didn't rig it. We fortified it. That was their words, not mine again. So can nobody say, oh, ABO, you're pushing the whole rigged narrative? I didn't say nothing. I'm just reflecting, replaying, reading what they wrote in the Time Magazine piece. And everything, well, pretty much everything that we were talking about is right there. They said that they control the means of communication. They lobbied to get certain laws changed at the 0 hour. They did all types of stuff. Okay. And you know what? The funny part is the left will say, oh, we got to punish everybody who voted against certifying the votes because they were trying to interfere with a free and fair election. It was all conspiracy theories. It was a big lie. You hear that big lie thing get so said on Fox News and everywhere else. That's what they say. Oh, it was a big lie. There was no fraud. But do you know that Democrats, how can I say this? Let me just get it right so I don't get it wrong. Democrats contested the vote in more states in 2017 when Trump got elected than Republicans did in 2021 when Biden got elected. I say that one more time. Democrats contested more states, 9 states they contested the final vote from. They didn't want to certify in 9 states compared to Republicans who said it was 6 states. So 9 versus 6. But their 9 states they contested in 2017, it doesn't really matter, right? That's just part of the democratic process. You can challenge the vote and it's fine. But when we do it on our side, at a lesser extent, we're insurrectionists. We want to challenge the election. And if you did that, which is part of your legal right to do, it's part of your duty to do it if you feel like it's necessary to be done. For you doing that, you're going to get punished. I read that Microsoft is going to stop donations to politicians that did that. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find the article right quick, just to make sure that I'm right and I'm above board here. Okay. So corporations expand donation fees to members of Pennsylvania legislature. And I'll put that right here on the screen if I can get it up right there. And there we go. Boom. All right. This is on popular.info, but I'm seeing it everywhere. Okay. And some of the article over the last week, dozens of companies have announced that they are suspending donations to 147 Republicans in Congress who objected to certifying the electoral college vote. Like I said, we objected the vote from 6 states in 2021. Democrats objected in 9 states in 2017. So we're being punished for that, but they can get a free pass for whatever they do. Okay, and I'm gonna talk about the double standard a little bit more in a minute, but let's keep on here. The objectors sought to disrupt the peaceful transfer of power based on unfounded allegations of voter fraud and other improprieties, which mean like the whole Russiagate thing that was the basis for them objecting to vote in 9 states. I mean, was that it or nah? I'm trying to figure out because the whole Russia thing, it took 3 years, $40 million, 500 subpoenas and more, all kind of money people had to spend on lawyer fees, and people got locked up on ticket tax charges and all types of stuff. That was found out to be a big fat nothing burger. They found nothing from all of that work they did. So isn't their objection of the vote also unfounded back in 2017? But we'll keep on going. A larger group of companies have announced they're pausing donations to Republicans and Democrats in Congress. Mostly Republicans, though. They didn't do it last time when it was Democrats that were doing it. So I'm just trying to figure out like what's really going on. Okay. And I'm gonna get to that article, the Time magazine. I'm gonna just kind of skim through it. I've already done my video on it, obviously, and I've already showed you guys the article through that video, but I kind of want to just go back to it, just give you a quick refresher, just a quick one. All right. Now, the headline is crazy to me. The headline of the article, let me put it up on the screen. Let me just get it in focus. The secret history of the shadow campaign that saved 2020 election. Now, when they say saved, what do they actually mean by saved? Saved how? I mean, is it about just making sure that the right decisions were made, that it was a safe process? We know that the whole process of universal mail-in voting is not really all the way all of that good. Okay. And we should have contested the vote because there were certain things going on that didn't make any sense. Just from a logistics standpoint and from an operational standpoint, things didn't make any sense. Not even saying who won or who lost or if the election was fair or whatever. It's about the processes that were done for the very first time that had all kinds of problems. Let's get to the bottom of these things and figure out what's happening and see if there's any kind of, errors or whatever. And if the results remain the same, then that's fine. But let's make sure everything's on the up and up. All right. So if we say, hey, let's just double check to make sure everything was good, and they say, oh, you're interfering with the election. Meanwhile, they got a whole shadow campaign. I thought the campaign was between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Who is his third party? There's right on a third party. Is that legal to do? If it's legal for them to do that, why is it not okay for us to just question it, which is part of our actual rights, freedom of speech? You got the right to object and see what's going on. All right. So yeah, this is a whole article. It's a long article, and like I said, I did my video on it. The link for that is in the box. This is on Time Magazine, but there's all kind of stuff in there. Okay, you got all kind of alliances between the left and the right, and business and all of that. And one of the main things that this article had was they were talking about, that they controlled information. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find that particular part of it. Okay, here it is right there. This is the main paragraph you may have seen on the internet. It's kind of been floating around as a post by itself. I think Jack Posobiec and Ian Mouse Young, a lot of these guys may have retweeted it or whatever. But you see right here what it says. That's why the participants want the secret history of the 2020 election told, even though it sounds like a paranoid fever dream, a well-funded cabal of powerful people ranging across industries and ideologies, working together behind the scenes to influence perceptions, change rules and laws, steer media coverage, and control the flow of information. So what does that really mean? Okay, we're changing influence perceptions. Now, I know what they call guys like me and other guys on the internet. They call them influencers. So what if your favorite influencer who's got like 1 million subs or whatever on the YouTubes gets a big bag from the Democratic National Convention? Like, here, take that. You might have been conservative at one point. Go the other direction. Do a heel turn, as I say in a pro wrestling game. Do a heel turn. Go from the babyface to the heel. Go from the good guy to the bad guy, and start hating on anything that's conservative. Go against your own, viewpoint. Matter of fact, take a little break from the YouTube. Don't make no more content. Just fall back and chill. Or if you're kind of a liberal guy already, just amp it up. We'll give you some resources and tools to be able to do that. And we see that here on YouTube, everywhere else. They had the whole Black History Month thing, and they highlighted some of the Black creators. I mean, I have more subs than 80% of them. And so does, Hodge Twins, Brandon Tatum, everybody got more subs, and we're more influential than a lot of the guys that are on that list. But we're not going to be on there because it's about, it's about influence perceptions. It's about having some of these guys go out there and be the forefront of what they want to push. It's simple. They give them the extra push, the extra leap up to have them be the forefront of what they want to get out there. Now, I'm not saying that's going to totally drown out what we do, but I think that's their objective, in my humble opinion. But changing the rules and laws is a big one right there, because they're changing some of these laws about voting in the 0 hour, talking about, you could just universal mail-in ballots. And then as far as, the information and the media coverage, here's a prime example of the media coverage that changed. They'll talk about universal mail-in ballots in the same sentence as absentee balloting. Here's what they'll do. It's really tricky, but we're kind of awake or woke, as the cool kids say. So we recognize it already. They'll go on TV and say, well, Donald Trump opposes mail-in ballots, although he'll vote with a mail-in ballot. Now, there's quite a bit wrong with that. First of all, Trump's not against absentee balloting. Mail-in ballots, it's like a catch-all term in that context. They're using mail-in ballots to refer to absentee balloting and universal mail-in ballots, but they're two different things. So you can't say that without going into context, or you're gonna be deceptive. You're not telling the full story. Okay, yes, absentee balloting is a form of mail-in voting, but it's not the equivalent to universal mail-in voting. Absentee, you got to request it from wherever your jurisdiction is, your city hall, whoever you got to get it from. You have to actually request it. And you might have to show ID or something to prove that you are the person that is supposed to get the ballot. And then they send it to you, send it back. It's a better process. You're not hammering the system. You're not just getting the ballot sent anywhere. You're requesting it, so you know that it's you that wants to vote. You get it sent it back to you, and it's a more smooth process. That's absentee balloting. That's perfectly fine. Everybody does that. If you are military, you happen to be away for work or whatever the case may be, that's normal. But universal mail-in ballots say, hey, okay, here's the voter rolls, right? We got all these names on the voter rolls. And, okay, there's 8 people that live at 8925 Main Street. Okay, well, so what? You're going to send all the ballots right there. Now, obviously, you're not going to have 8 different full-grown adults living at one studio apartment in Manhattan. I mean, is that legal? I'm not really sure, but different story. Obviously, that's not going to be the case. You're going to have prior residents that are getting these ballots. You're going to have ballots going to dead people. There was one situation where a dog got a voter registration form or something. Either they got a form to fill out the go vote or it was a ballot. A dog, like not even a human being, a little roof, a good boy. You understand what I'm saying? So that is universal mail-in ballots. Obviously, not very safe. Where's the voter ID? Nowhere. Where's the security to know that you might have got sent a ballot? It goes to a prior address of yours. You don't even know it. You go into the place to vote and they say, oh, you already voted. Oh, for real? Yeah, because we sent the ballot out and it already got sent back. And what you going to do? You're raising the concern to the media, but they're not trying to cover it because, again, going back to the article, they are, influencing the perception. You're talking about trying to go to mainstream media. They're censoring it. You can't even publish articles on New York Post, one of the best news sources in the world, one of the oldest sources in the world. You can't even post it. So that's what they're saying that they did in this Time magazine article. And it's crazy. Okay. And going back to that right quick, it says they were not rigging the election. They were fortifying it. I'm reading it verbatim right here on the screen. Like I said, you can go to the video I did about it and check it out in a link in the description box. Also go to my website, anthonybloga.com. You can see the article I wrote about it, and read it right there. Okay. And then it says they need to believe the public and they believe the public needs to understand the system's fragility in order to ensure that democracy in America endures. So basically they're saying, look, we did this for you. We had to change things and have the rules get manipulated away from what they always had been because it got to work better for you. Now, my question is, was it not working better before? Was it not, a good process before? Do you think Time Magazine and whoever these quote unquote elites are that were operating, wasn't that a good process in 2017? Did you think that it was stolen in 2017 and now you want to make sure it doesn't get stolen again? So who's the conspiracy theorist here? If we say there were some funny things going on and then you say there were funny things going on in 2017 and you objected to more votes and more states in 2017, but like I said, it's fine for them to do it because they control the means of communication. They control the media, social media, all of that good stuff. Now, I'm a circle back, as the cool kids say. I'm going to circle back to the whole point about the media covering it in the way that covers whatever they do, and it's fine. Okay, they can go out and just, be a violent gangbanger, shoot up every block every day for 5-10 years straight, and there's no problem because of this. The left have control of a lot of these different places. They have control of mainstream media to a certain extent, well, to a large extent, to the majority extent, social media, academia, corporate America, and I would say probably the majority of politics. Maybe not a high majority, but big enough a majority. And at the political level, it's not even about left and right. It's about just the establishment. People that want to see things go one way. People that want to play God and be social engineers. Kind of like what China does. They kind of want to engineer their people. China is probably better at doing that than we are. It's not a good thing to do that, but they're better at it than we are. That's why you see calls for communism and socialism, because once you get to that level of governance, you have more control over your people. So if you want to force things down someone's throat like Black Lives Matter, so-called equality, racial justice, you can do that when you can control the people. That's what you get from communism and socialism. Oh, everybody gets a check. everybody gets this amount of whatever, everybody's equal, everybody's on board, and it's all good. But what they don't tell you is that as you get more equality, you have less prosperity. A prime example, North Korea. Look at North Korea right now. Everybody's equal for the most part, except for Kim Jong-un eating the bodies of dead reindeer or whatever, looking fat as he could be. Everybody's pretty much equal except for the elite. That's what it happens. And everybody's equally starving to death, trying to eat rats and cats and whatever they can find, whatever kind of wildlife they can get their hands on in North Korea. That's what's happening. That's what you have in the true communist society. Now in China, they were like a bit of Korea for a long time. People starving, nobody having any money under pure communism. Now they still have communism to a certain extent, but they also introduced capitalism. So to prevent people from dying and just falling to death on the street because they can't eat any food, they have capitalism in their economy, but it's controlled by the government. So it's the highest form of crony capitalism. You see what I'm saying? Because it's all communism. That's what that is at the end of the day. And I think a lot of people here in the U.S., far left and, moron right-wingers, some of them, not all of them, obviously, but a handful, not enough to make a difference in my humble opinion right now. But a lot of them want to kind of join forces and become more like China because they feel like the American people, they don't have faith in us. We can't do things on our own. They got to do everything for us. And we got to have equality. So the objective is to take the top away and bring it more towards the bottom. So the bottom gets a slight boost, but they're still kind of in poverty, still living the same way, while the middle class is gone. So it's like a cake with different layers. You got the bottom layer, that's like the low class people, I guess you would say. Then you have the middle, that's the middle class. That's the thing that keeps the whole thing afloat. And then the very top, the little top layer, the ornament on top, that's the people that got all the money and have all the jobs for the most part. You take the middle out, the top crashes to the bottom, and then they pretty much are almost like one. That's kind of what's going on with this situation. That's what they want. So yeah, that's not really what the wave is. Equity, equality, whatever it is. They say when people say equality, we want everybody to be equal. That's what they mean. They're talking about everybody being equally poor or equally struggling, or they want to give the poor a slight bump up at the cost of having everyone go down. That's pretty much what it is. Because if everyone gets a bump, it's like the minimum wage argument. You may have some that get a bump up in that situation, but if you have less jobs overall and less money that is able to be created overall, then what do you really have? You don't have a good situation. You have people that make a little bit more. Those that have less jobs are going to be more in number, a higher volume, and people that are able to make a lot of money is going to go down as well. Therefore, less prosperity. And if you have freedom in the country, that's our competitor, they're going to zoom past us. China's going to zoom past us because one thing about China, they don't care about human rights. Like, you can't have all of that mixed together. You're going to be concerned about human rights and equality, equity, and trying to have like a nice way of living and security. You can't have everything at the same time. Something's got to give. Either you're going to have human rights take a hit, the environment take a hit. Something's got to go. We want to have it all. Can't have it all. That's just not reality. The best way to go was to have more freedom, less government intervention. The solution is never more government. It's always less government. Unless you have anarchy already, like Somalia or something like that. If you're there, you need more government because you have none at all. You can't even get a passport because you have no government. Like, there's no government agencies. All they got to do is handle some basic behind the scenes things. That's it. That's all you need them to do. I don't need the government to tell me how to cook food or, how to wear my mask and stuff like that. That's why I don't want to see, quote unquote, Dr. Fauci going on television talking about, oh, you got to wear a mask. And Fauci appearing with the 90s R&B star Monica, that's not really working out. That is not really working out at all. Matter of fact, I'm going to try to put it on the screen right quick.
Parent.
Okay. Now, this is not really going to work at all. Hold on. So that's Monica right there, the 90s R&B singer. She had a song with Brandy back in the day. What was that? The Boy's Mine. And I forgot what else she sang. Angel of Mine. She had that song. So you have her with Dr. Fauci. This is not going to work, ma'am. I'm sorry. I'm not convinced that you are going to be the person I need to talk to about getting the vaccine. And the dislike ratio was crazy. 3,400 likes to 7,200 dislikes. It's a pretty decent ratio of downvotes. But they're desperate. They're trying to get celebrities, and that goes back to that whole thing about the elites. They're controlling the flow of information. Influencers. They're using Monica here as an influencer because she has cachet from her past as a 90s R&B star, and a lot of black folks know who she is. So this is going to be a thing that speaks directly to them. People that don't know her are going to totally ignore this, but obviously it has 274,000 views, so it did get watched by quite a few people, but it's not working out too well. I think black folks have a very low rate of getting the vaccine. I think I said virus earlier, but you have a very low rate of getting the vaccine. And you got all these think pieces talking about, oh, well, there's a problem. There's, inequality in the vaccines, and, blacks are the least, likely to get it. It's like, well, let's take the victim hat off, take the victim, lenses off your face, and understand that we don't want the vaccine. We know what time it is with the vaccine. We know what it is. All right. We don't want it. That's just a fact. I mean, you could go on the internets right now. You see all kind of comedy skits talking about, man, I'm not going to get that because you're going to be calling the 800 number. 10 years later talking about, oh, well, did you get the COVID-19 Pfizer or whatever shot in 2021? You could be eligible for a class action lawsuit. Call 188-XYZ-123. Again, 188-XYZ-123. You could cash in. Call now. We know it. We know what time it is. And the whole thing with Tuskegee and the experiment with syphilis and stuff like that, where they were not giving the men cures or any kind of treatment for syphilis for like 40 years. They wanted to examine how they would die with the virus slowly so they can, take notes on it for, a government study. 40 years has lasted. We know what happened with that. The Tuskegee thing lasted until the 70s. Past civil rights, all of that in the 70s, we know about that. But beyond that, there was more shots. There was like this birth control shot that was an experimental drug. People got all kind of crazy ailments as a result of that. There was another one where I think it was a morning sickness drug. And it was an injection you got. And then a lot of people that were born after they got that shot were missing limbs. Just randomly missing arms, legs, and stuff like that. And it's all kind of stuff like that has happened throughout the years. So this is not a conspiracy theory or anything of the sort. We see the history right in front of our very eyes. So we're not going to get this. We don't want it. It is what it is. Because my thing is this. The virus is out there. We know it's out there. But what's the greater risk? Getting the virus and 99.8% chance of beating it, or taking the shot and dying right afterwards. Matter of fact, there was a lady that died in Gloucester County in Virginia immediately after getting the shot, but it's not been in the news. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find it right quick. Hold on. Gloucester dies vaccine. Okay. So here it is right here. Woman dies hours after receiving Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine. This is on Fox 5 New York. All right. And I saw it, and, because I'm from Virginia, obviously. So Gloucester is in my previous local area. It's like right up the way. So I saw this on local news because I still follow some of my local newspapers down there in Virginia. And I saw this there. Here it is right on the screen. Black woman. So, I mean, you got Monica, Dr. Fauci, that's fine. You got Monica up there talking about the boys, man, all this, that, and the third. Get the vaccine. All right, that's fine, but check it out. You got black women now, somebody grandmama or mama, they meemaw, whatever the case may be, getting the vaccine and then dying hours later. All right. So 58 years old, and the some of the article says a Virginia woman died within hours of receiving the Pfizer coronavirus vaccine, according to her family, but state officials say her death and the vaccine may not be related. Oh, okay, sure. One was identified 58-year-old Dream Keys or Janae Keys. She had received the first dose of the virus, waited the mandated 15 minutes after the show, and was leaving. A coworker said that she was trying to get in the car and said something's not right. Her daughter Lisa Jones said Keys, who had diabetes, sleep apnea, and was obese, started having trouble breathing and started vomiting. She was rushed to the hospital and died. So, I mean, if she had all those things and just happened to get the shot and then died like right there, within 15 minutes, she had a reaction. So, do you want that? I'm just saying, if you get it, I'm not judging you. But we see this stuff right here. Anybody can look at this and be like, well, I might want to wait a little bit. Okay, I don't want to be a guinea pig or a beta tester with this thing. Because this is my life here. You only get one life, one shot at life. I don't want to mess my life up. You understand? So that's what's going on with us. That's why we don't want it. And then my thing is, they say that if you have any illnesses, or if you kind of like might have some kind of problems, you shouldn't get the vaccine. Well, what's the point in getting the vaccine then? If you have problems already, and if you have problems, you need the vaccine more than anybody, right? Because you're at a higher risk. Why would a healthy person get it? It doesn't make any sense. All right. Oh yeah, Bill Gates. I mean, Bill Gates loving it. And did you guys see that Bill Gates is the well, I said it before in a previous episode, but Bill Gates is now the largest farmland owner in the U.S. I have no idea why Bill Gates specifically would be the largest farmland owner, but it is what it is. Oh, the Bell's palsy too, right? Exactly. Yep. So, and I think Monica asked Fauci about Bell's palsy and people's fears about potentially getting that, and he kind of like poo-pooed it like it was nothing. But I mean, if you get it, then it is something, ain't it? Yes, the media now says that HCQ works. I had my whole Facebook page demonetized. I can't even get no more followers on it. It's just kind of like I can use it a little bit, but I can't grow it because I had an article about HCQ that went viral. I had like 1 million Facebook likes on that one article. And, after that, they shut my whole thing down. But now they're saying that the drug works. Oh, you don't say. So all the doctors that came out and said that it worked didn't make a difference. The lady, the black Democrat woman who said that it saved her life, that wasn't enough. But we got to get the Facebook fact checkers to say that it works, for the media to say that it works now. Oh, okay. See, that goes back to the whole thing about that Time magazine article. The media want to control the narrative. This is why people like myself and many others are starting to become more popular, because we know we cannot trust the media or whatever they put out on social media. That's why websites are very important. An email list is very important. All that's extremely important, so you can get the news straight from a better source than the mainstream media. Now, I'm not a perfect source, but I'll give you the raw, real information straight from whatever I can find, and I can verify, I can source it. That's just how I operate. That's why I take my thing very seriously. I won't give you a false piece of information. I'll make sure that everything's above board or on the up and up. And I sourced my article back then when I wrote it. I had studies from different labs. I had all types of stuff, and it still got, they say, oh, this is fake. Please. They fortified HCQ. That's hilarious. Yes, they did. Yes, Ivana, they fortified HCQ. That's right. All right. But yeah, we got a whole lot happening. Oh, Bank of America. I almost forgot about that part. So Bank of America may have broken the law. May have. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know anything about this. This is just my opinion. Take it as entertainment. This is not any kind of legal advice as far as any kind of lawsuit is concerned or anything of the sort. I'm just giving you my observation from my opinion and my point of view. But Bank of America may have broken the law, Fourth Amendment, because here's the thing. Now, what they did was they helped the FBI get information about user data about anybody that was at the Capitol or around the Capitol, like anywhere around the 6th of January this year. but it wasn't about specific people. See, normally when the bank or Instagram, Facebook, wherever else gives your data to the FBI or whoever, they get a subpoena for your data. Okay, this person is suspected of being a drug runner or they're a gangbanger. We got them on surveillance. You got to get a court order. You got to get a subpoena. You can't just go take stuff willy-nilly. It's just like going to somebody's house. You got to have a search warrant. I cannot come in your house with no search warrant. And if I do, if I'm an officer, now I'm violating the law. I can go to the penitentiary for doing that. But that's a different story. Anyway, you got to have a subpoena to be able to get the information about a specific person. That's the way it's supposed to go. Now, banks are not supposed to just give out all information about people that were at a certain place. They had certain parameters they were looking for, meaning the FBI. You had to have been in D.C. On or around the 6th of January. Maybe you got an Airbnb in Northern Virginia, D.C., or Maryland, which is all in the same area. Maybe you bought an ice cream or a candy bar from a 7-Eleven in Falls Church, Virginia, which is right there. So that puts you right there in the vicinity. Oh, maybe you got a firearm in Fredericksburg or something like that, and then drove straight up. And then you stopped in, Annandale and got something to eat, and then parked your vehicle right on the Potomac or right by it, and then you got an Uber. You see what I'm saying? So they're looking for all that information on your Bank of America card. If you got a debit card, they can track you. That's what they were trying to do. And then people that fit a lot of those different parameters, you got an Airbnb. If you travel at all, not even to DCA or the airport by Baltimore, not even to those specific airports, but just in general, you could have flown to Tahiti. If you flew at all and you had some of those other things going on, you were flagged. And they got 211 people. 211 people were flagged. And the FBI were looking through their whole list, picking and choosing who they're going to call. Now, at least one guy, probably more, but at least one guy got contacted and cleared. But see, why are you contacting me if I'm not a suspect? You got to have evidence that you can't just get. Like, you can't just have this whole dragnet of things and request private information and private data. That's a lawsuit right there. Somebody going to jail behind that for sure, because that's not legal from my point of view, from my opinion. You got to have a subpoena to, just like saying, okay, I suspect this is a dope house. All right, you could suspect that, but where's the search warrant at? Now, if you smell weed or something like that coming from the house or the car, that's different. But if you're just driving through and you think, oh, that might be a crack house right there, without any kind of evidence to sustain your claim, then you can't do that. You got to get a subpoena. You got to get a search warrant. So Bank of America is in big trouble, big trouble. And I wonder if any other bank has done the same thing. How about Wells Fargo? How about, anybody else? Chase? Who else has done this particular thing? Now, I definitely want to know that, because Bank of America, that's really scummy. You can't do stuff like that. You got to have a subpoena to give out information. And the FBI, what are they doing? Oh, and the FBI, they're kind of like, it's a lot of good guys that work at the FBI, good people. Men and women that work at the FBI, they're good people. But you have bad leadership. Christopher Wray, what are you still doing there, sir? Why is he still there? I have no idea. But there was a picture. I won't put it on the screen. But remember that whole thing with the so-called MAGA shaman? Or the QAnon, what they call him, the QAnon shaman. That's the guy with the horns and whatnot that was in the Capitol. Now, there was a picture of him with like 2 or 3 other guys that were right next to him. And then behind him, there was some artwork on the wall. And it's just, White House or Capitol artwork, old guys, classical stuff, whatever the case. Now, one of the pictures from the FBI's official report was that big dude, that black dude with his thing kind of. Now they ain't show the private part, they ain't show that, but they show his upper body. It's like you couldn't tell what that was in your. This is in the FBI report, the official document in the FBI report. I'm like, what are we doing? This is silly. We're not even observing. We're not even looking at the picture to see what it is, and we're going after guys that are just buying coffee at a Starbucks in Alexandria because they did it on January 5th. I mean, don't you got bigger fish to fry, FBI? Maybe. I mean, you got human trafficking and stuff going on. The border is jumping crazy. And the border is funny because they want to talk about, oh, you can't have a Super Bowl party. You can't cheer. You got to do jazz hands. And you can't really get excited like that. You can't do too much partying and whatnot. They want to try to give you, advice on how to just live your life at home. But they can have the border wide open. I'm talking about big hole wide open. How does it make any sense? Now, the border and these caravans of about 7, 8, 9, 10,000 people at a time, are they going to all have their shots? Not even just for the virus, not even for that. I'm talking about HIV. They're going to have that, mumps, tuberculosis, all that, polio, all that. Because they're coming from countries where these things aren't necessarily just given out like candy. They might have never had any kind of shots. They could have cholera, all of that. And now we got to be exposed to it. But you, just a regular normie, put your mask on. Matter of fact, put 2 masks on. Matter of fact, okay, we're ABC, we're CNBC, we're MS13 DNC. Put 3 masks on. That'll help you right there. It's so dumb. So I'm at the point now where anytime I see Fauci or any of these other morons talk, I roll my eyes. I don't listen at all. Okay, you go down to Florida, nobody has any masks on, everybody's chilling. And I saw Shep Smith try to out these people talking about, oh, how dare they? They want to wear a mask, but now's not the time. Matter of fact, I'm gonna try to find that right quick. Because somebody recorded these people in Florida, just at a grocery store, and they weren't wearing their mask. And he was really upset. It's like, wait a minute, there's no mask mandate in Florida. So what's the problem? What are you even getting triggered about? Oh, here it is right there. This might not be the full thing, but close enough. Now, it was somebody that posted the picture because they were upset. And matter of fact, the guy that posted it allegedly was some kind of healthcare worker, may have been a nurse or a doctor or whatever, talking about, I hope they all die. I hope they get it. It's like, whoa, sir. Hippocratic oath. I mean, you ever heard about that? Thou shalt do no wrong. So you wouldn't wish death on them because they don't have a mask on? Oh, okay. But here's the video I'm talking about. If you guys have not seen it.
New video.
Okay, let's go ahead and mute Savannah Guthrie. Don't want to hear from her. So that's them. And they're just, in the grocery store, bagging groceries, checking out, talking, everybody smiling. Matter of fact, let me go back a little bit. Lady had a big smile on her face. I mean, that's what you want to see. Lady smiling, with her apron on, just, giving out the groceries. Now, I'm not seeing this big scandemic going on. Anybody just falling over and dying. It is what it is. Everybody's pretty much doing their own thing. All right, now this guy outside with nobody around him wearing a mask. Why? It's so silly. And then the lady right there is like, okay, why are you filming me, sir? I'm just getting my groceries. Like, what's the problem? Okay, maybe I don't want to be on your camera. You creep. But yeah, it's just chilling. There's no mask mandate in Florida. So what's the problem? If there's no mask mandate, then why judge me and put me on TV because I'm following the rules of my actual place where I live? What's the problem? Let me just do my own thing. All right. Oh, and shout out to Pitbull. If you guys don't know who Pitbull is, he's also in Florida. He's from Miami. And as a matter of fact, he's first generation Cuban American. His family came on the boat lift. Matter of fact, that's a whole deep story right there. So I digress. But they came on the boat lift, and Pitbull is a really famous rapper. But he's you see Pitbull doing halftime shows and award shows. He's the kind of guy that you bring out there for a big performance. All right. Very well-known person. Yeah. Normal everyday people, right? Dante. That's right. But going back to Pitbull right quick. Now, he's from Cuba, or his family is. They came on the boat lift, so he understands communism in a very deep way. Deeper than most of us could, because he comes straight from that. They had to escape, literally. Castro is not a game. Cubans in Miami, oh no. They do not like Castro. They do not like communism. This is why when what's your man's name? Colin Kaepernick put on the Castro. Oh, it was the Shea or the Castro. Nah, one of them jerseys or shirts he had on. People in Miami hated it. It was like, why you got that on? Like we had to escape that. What are you doing? The Che Guevara or Castro? Nah, we can't have that here in Miami. If you want to be on the Miami Dolphins playing football, you're not gonna be able to wear that because we are a very big population. I was in Miami in 2019, and I got off the plane in the airport. I'm hearing straight Spanish. Like you're in Cuba, basically. You're in North Cuba, but different story. I digress. So let's put Pitbull on the screen right quick. Let me try to zoom in. And this is on my Instagram page, by the way, Instagram.com/Anthony B. Logan. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.
In this day and age, I'm hoping that people see as quick as you get it. It's like dope money. Come quick, leave quicker. So when it comes to this technology, exactly what it is. You got instant gratification thing. You can touch as many people with it as quick as they want to go. Whoop, they can pull it from you. And right now we're talking about, a virus? A virus, that's what we talk about. SARS, MERS, bird, swine, Ebola, now Corona. Like, come on, folks. I mean,
I got to pause right here so it don't get flagged because they might flag it if it's like 30 seconds without me talking in between. So keep on going here.
You gotta read the tea leaves, bro. The devil's in the details. And with that said, if you look at the recovery numbers on what we're talking about, I don't know what it is, but I guess the flu went on vacation on this year. Heart attacks went on vacation this year. Everything went on vacation this year when it came to, I'm talking about, what we're going through right now. Okay. And let's just call a spade a spade. And the reason I can have this conversation is because my family comes from communism. They fled communism. They had everything taken away from them. Everybody got murdered. Everybody got killed.
And nothing but facts so far, can't deny it. And what he was saying about the recovery rate is like, come on, like, do we not have the flu anymore? Like, is that not a thing? Did it just go away? Did it go on vacation, as he said? What's really happening? But then he was talking about communism, how his family had to leave. They had to actually flee communism.
And that's the reason me being a first-generation Cuban-American, or maybe us being first-generation Cuban-Americans, I look at freedom and I appreciate that shit.
It's a little bit of cussing. It's not my fault. Blame the white man.
I appreciate opportunity. I appreciate anything that you give me. All I need is a little slip, partner, and I got you. And that comes from the fact that when a Castro took over everything, and I'm looking at what's going on right now, the only person here that's hot, 38 hot, is Castro. He's going, y'all did it with a virus? Shit. Y'all took over the world with a virus? Y'all gotta be kidding me. He had missiles pointed to the United States of America during the Russian missile crisis, during the Bay of Pigs and what they went on through. So this shit gets deep. The only thing is do you want to realize how deep it is? You know, that's the way I look at this shit. And even going into this, I don't know if y'all know about this, but might as well put it out there, especially in y'all show, because y'all got folks that need this more than anybody. We all need it.
I'm gonna pause right here as well. But I mean, what he's saying, I can't deny it. Now, about Pitbull, before we go any further, Pitbull is a big-time never Trumper, big-time anti-Trump guy, or at least he was. Back during when Trump was running the first time in 2015, 2016, he was talking about, I'm not going to no more Trump hotels. He did an interview with Jorge Ramos from Univision. And, you know, he could speak very good Spanish because he's Cuban, clearly. But he did an interview on Univision talking about how much he hates Trump and F Trump, all this and that and the third. Now, I'm not sure about how he feels now because some guys have changed since then. Some guys have been able to realize what Trump was on. Maybe he does as well. I'm not really sure. But he was a big-time anti-Trump guy, 1,000%. But even he can see what's happening here, and he knows what's going on. This is not new to him.
There's a rehearsal that went on before this whole shit is called Event 201. October 18th, 2019, this shit came out. It was ran by the Johns Hopkins University, which is in cahoots with Bill Gates, Melinda Gates Foundation. And
all right, so it ends right there, but there's more. If you want to see that in full, go to the Drink Champs podcast right on the YouTube. So that's with NRE, Noriega, and DJ EFN. Now, Nori is from New York, and he's a rapper too. You know, I know a lot about that, but that's a different story. But Nori, I think, is like Dominican or some kind of Hispanic, but black, and EFN is straight Cuban. and they both live in Miami. So this is really important to communism to understand Cuba and Miami and all of what they gone through, because they already experienced it. They got firsthand experience. Like people that are alive right now experienced it. You know, people had to escape Cuba like recently. Okay, people like what's my man's name? Yasiel Puig, guys like that had to escape Cuba because of what's going on there. They understand what it is. So you don't want that here in the USA. Oh yeah, Pitbull definitely spilling it for sure. So shout out to him. Hey, I didn't know he was woke either. My site, I had no idea because last I heard about him and politics, he was talking about how much he hates Trump. But maybe he's changed. Maybe he's gotten awakened, and that's fine. I know guys that hated Trump back in 2018 that send me DMs saying, "Hey man, Trump 2020." So it's fine. I'm not judging. But hopefully he does understand the error of his ways previously, and now he's like, all right, I'm not on that anymore, and I've gone to a different place in my life. He seems to, because everything he said was on point. I can't point to a lie that was right there in that. But like I said, the full thing is on Drink Champs podcast. All right. Let me see. Yeah, it is here now, off grid. It is, you know, but we got to make sure that we don't allow it to progress any further. I mean, you go to California, it's live and in full effect, live and in full effect. And you know what? I'm looking at people in California and how they live, and I'm just kind of like, I'm kind of surprised and appalled at how bad they live. Like in California, it's like no more middle class, especially in the cities. Either you got it or you don't. Rampant poverty. Like over here where I'm at in Tennessee and just the South in general, you got black folks living very well. I mean, you got 300,000 for a house, man. You can get a mansion, really. I mean, I'm not even exaggerating. If you live like a little bit beyond, if you live like, I say, 20 minutes from the city center, you can get you a nice mansion for 300,000. Even if you live close to the city, you can still get a nice crib for that much. Go to California, go to Compton, go to Watts, go to Inglewood, and try to get a house for 300,000. You're talking about 550, 600,000, and you're going to be in a bando with bars in the window. We get 400,000. You can get a house on the mountain with a view, no bars, no crime, no nothing. It's a different way of life, and it's really crazy to even see how they live out there. The gas is stupid high. The taxes are ridiculously high. And for what, though? Why are the taxes so high? Why? It doesn't make any sense. You have all those people and can't even feed your people. You got drugs going on. They're spending more money on the NGOs to take care of the dope fiends out there in the street rather than preventing them from being dope fiends in the first place. It's so silly, you know? So that's what that is. Yeah, the poverty is really crazy. The tent, I was so shocked when I saw the tent cities in California. I was totally shocked. I was like, what? Like, I didn't think it was like that because I've been hearing stories about California, how great it is and how beautiful it is and the weather. I mean, that's still, the weather is so beautiful out there, of course, aside from the wildfires and the earthquakes and the floods. But anyway, normally it's pretty beautiful. But that poverty, man, good night. I saw some footage of Oakland, California. It's looking like, I mean, you're talking about Beirut after an attack. Sad, crazy. I never seen that. I mean, I've been to Philly. I've been like Baltimore, DC, like Southeast DC in the hood. And it's like Southeast DC compared to LA. I mean, DC looks like DC looks like Martha's Vineyard compared to LA. And it's crazy. Yeah, Austin, Texas as well. Austin is like that because of the Californians, period. And they bring their same way of living out there. So people say that voting don't matter. Voting does matter. Voting and also human behavior. If you think you can just have drugs everywhere, homelessness everywhere, that's going to carry with you. And when you start to vote for people that believe in, you can just smoke crack on the street and it's fine. You can just doodle on the ground and it's fine. You can just put up a tent right here in front of somebody's house that costs $500,000 and it's fine. You're going to have your city look like Los Angeles, San Francisco, Sacramento, Bakersfield. It'll look like that in a very short period of time. Oakland, maybe not Bakersfield, but definitely Oakland. And I saw a video in San Francisco as well. I was surprised because of San Fran. I thought it was just like a bunch of really high priced property out there, like $1 million for a house. But then there's like certain sides of San Fran that are just looking like, I can't even explain it, like just run down, abandoned buildings. It's crazy. All right. Yeah, but I've been in DC. I've been in DC and LA, and LA I don't like. I don't like LA or New York. I like people from LA to a certain extent and New Yorkers, but I don't like LA or New York. DC is much better. And what's better than that is in Texas, Tennessee, Georgia, aside from Atlanta in the city. Even Atlanta, like downtown, that's not even as bad as, West Coast. All right. And Atlanta downtown is extremely dangerous, but nowhere near as bad as left coast. But I'm rambling, so I got super chats to get to, and then we're gonna get to the calls. So y'all just hang tight. And thank you to everybody that super chatted so far. I appreciate you guys. And if you're enjoying what you're hearing so far, give me a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. And if you're not subscribed to me yet, I don't know what you're waiting on. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel right now. I'd most certainly appreciate you. All right. So shout out to Apple, who says New York Times reporter resigns because of racial slur. Country music, man, sorry for using racial slur. Democrats say racial slurs, but never apologize. Thoughts? It's a double standard. They could do whatever they want. They can say whatever they want, do whatever they want. I've seen Democrats go on television and attack people with racial slurs. Uncle Tom and Coon and Sellout, all this and that on TV. I've seen them do that, and they laugh about it, and it's fine. And the reason why they can do that is because the media, politicians, academia, and corporations believe in their messaging. They believe in the general ideas of the leftists. Now, they go too far sometimes, and they get a slap on the wrist. Don't do that anymore, because at the end of the day, they don't really care about racial slurs. They care about money. If corporations are all on the same page with supporting a particular person and a particular ideology, they're going to sit together and circle the wagons. If they're against a certain person, they'll still circle the wagon, but in the opposite direction. They'll come together to fight against you if you do a thing they don't like, if they already hate you. But if they like you and you do something crazy, they'll give you a pass. They'll support you. That's kind of how that goes. Oh, we got to educate him. We got to make sure he knows what he's saying and he has to use his words properly. That's how they carry it. But when they don't like you, or we're going to cancel his ability to get money at all through PayPal, or we're going to close bank account. We're going to do stuff like that to him because we don't like him. But when we do like him, we'll give him a pass. And so we're going to educate him, and we're going to stand with him during this troubling time and, give him some privacy. That's how they operate, because they're all on the same page. They're all on the same team. Apple also says the liberals realize President Biden has 10 times the negative qualities of their fake idea of Donald J. Trump. Mr. Biden is bigoted, sexist, corrupt, and clueless. Oh, that's facts. They don't care about that, really. Like I said, if they're all on the same page, they're all on the same team, they'll defend him regardless of what. It's like when he went out there and screamed on all those black folks, screamed on them on TV like it was nothing. They didn't say a word. Now, Trump was like, hey, I'm trying to give you guys some money. I'm trying to actually help. Then they want to cuss him out. So it's like, what do you really want? Do you even know what you want? Apple says, catch AOC's drama queen performance thoughts. It's all theater. I like the mashups where they put like actual riots behind her. I thought that was hilarious. This whole thing is just a dog and pony show. She's out there talking about, X, Y, and Z happened to me, just kind of exaggerating. Not saying that she might not have been scared, but, it's an opportunity to let it go to the waste. Go out there and say that it was the worst thing in the world, compare it to Iwo Jima and Hiroshima and Nagasaki, all of that. Just go out there and say that. Let me see. Shout out to Base Potato, who says, if you plan on moving to Texas, don't Austin my San Antonio. Yes, we are a blue city, according to stats, but we don't mess with civil liberties. There you go. Exactly. Yeah, keep all that Austin stuff down in Austin. Don't go to San Antonio with that. All right? Just don't do it. Matter of fact, how about don't have any of that Austin, California mashup stuff anywhere in Texas? Go back to California with that. They don't understand why they moved. They think they're going to just they think it's just, I don't know, the geography. I'm not really sure what they think, because if they vote the exact same way they did and they do the same things they did out in California, they're going to have the same kind of results. If people bring their crackheads with them, the crackhead pets with them, and their same ways of voting, they're going to just export the same issues they had in California to Austin. So I don't understand the purpose in doing it. It doesn't make any sense. Ken B says the left was already caught rigging the primaries against Bernie Sanders. They already took the general election to a whole new level. Exactly. That's exactly what happened. They took the Bernie Sanders situation and then applied it at a much bigger and wider level, and they even admitted it in the article. DJ Medeiros, I know what your name, and I'm sorry, says, I guess Mark Twain, a.k.a. Samuel Clemens, was right when he said, if voting actually worked, then they wouldn't let us do it. Pete Sangria says, last of the Mohican GOP candidates, Claudia Tenney, was finally declared the winner in my district. New York still has some same people in it. Yeah, shout out to Claudia Tenney. And the funny part about the whole thing with Claudia Tenney, Pete Sangria, was that her opponent, the Democrat, raised the issue of the Dominion machines being faulty. So I thought it was just a crazy nut job GOPers that said that, but you got a whole Democrat that held the race up for a full 3 months because of machines and stuff like that. Oh, okay. Makes a lot of sense to me. Let me see. Apu says, Queen Latifah has a new okay, I'm gonna read this, but I did see that. Latifah has a new Equalizer TV show. Says a woke female action hero needed nowadays. On the other hand, Denzel Washington criticizes BLM. Thoughts? Shout out to Denzel Washington for criticizing Black Lives Matter. Denzel always been the real one, not afraid to speak his mind. He'll do it right there on the red carpet and dare you to say something. So I appreciate Denzel for being himself, 1,000%, and being married, having kids, doing it the right way. He's a role model, even if he's not necessarily going to say that he is. He can be seen as one because of how he carries himself, and I appreciate and respect Denzel Washington. Now, as far as Queen Latifah playing in the Equalizer TV show, I saw that. I was like, all right, I'm not really convinced this makes any sense. I'll put it on the screen right quick, matter of fact, so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So you got Queen Latifah in this action role. It doesn't really fit. Hold on, let me get it on the screen. Okay, let's do this. So I'm gonna keep it muted, but you can see her right there on the screen. All right, so she's like some kind of enforcer, and she's doing like fight scenes and stuff. I'm like, I'm not sure if I'm really believing this too tough. So she picking up guns and stuff. And Queen Latifah got to be about 50 years old now. If you see her on the speed bag, it's like, not speed bag, but the heavy bag. It's like, lady, come on, really? So you mean to tell me Queen Latifah, 50-something years old, is going to be some kind of like enforcer, like John Wick type person? Really? Is that what we're going to do? I mean, come on. All right. And then running from an explosion, did you guys see that? Queen Latifah, okay. Let's stop it here. Running from an explosion. I'm not really buying that too much. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and skip that TV show on my whatever kind of queue I have on my TVs. Matter of fact, this is why I don't even watch TV. I watch HGTV, I watch news and local news, and that's pretty much it. Okay, she looks great. What do you mean by great? I mean, she looks good to be her age, I guess, in general. But to be a superhero on a TV show, I'm not sure that makes any sense. I mean, that's like putting, Bob the Builder in there as John Wick. I'm not really sure I believe that one. You understand? Let's have the role fit the character. I mean, let's have the person fit the character they're playing. I don't want to have the black guy from The Office go out there and play, T'Challa from Black Panther. It's not going to fit. But I'll move right along. She's not a dude at all. Not a dude. She is lesbian. Not trying to joke on her, but she is lesbian. But that's not really. But she was on the movie similar to that called Set It Off back in the day. This was like 96 though, and she wasn't quite the same. So, and she wasn't like an action hero. She was a bank robber back then. So running from explosions and beating people up, I'm not really sure that makes any sense, but we keep on moving. Thank you to Bernadette for becoming a new ABL squad member. Thank you to Hudson Jackson, who says, I got so dizzy after watching those White House press conferences that I'm no longer following them. I'm not even interested in trying to get vertigo. Exactly. Circle back. You be circling yourself into a tizzy. Thank you to A-Rap Pool for your donation. Shout out to Strong and Grand, who says, My dad died from COVID, and I'm still going to wait before I go near a vaccine. And man, sorry for your loss, man. You know, I understand. So, I don't blame you, man, because you don't want to be the next person to have any kind of thing happen to you because of the vaccine that we know is causing problems. Take it to Ian, who says you never see commercials for the vaccine because the companies are all immune to from liability. So if you die, it's oh well. Oh, that's a good point right there, because what I was saying earlier about you may have a commercial in the future saying, hey, if you got the Moderna vaccine in 2021, you can be eligible for a class action lawsuit. They're not gonna have those because they got waivers that say, hey, if you mess around and die from this, then you just, that's on you. So ain't gonna be no more lawsuits. They fixed that up real quick, didn't they? Because they know that this might be something that comes about later. Thank you to Liza Jean, who said, thank you for being a rock. Love to you both from China. Hilarious. Thank you for your donation. Thank you to Laura Reeves, who says, since Fauci suggested wearing 2 masks, I've seen several people in my daily life wearing 2 masks. Excuse me. It is beyond ridiculous. People drive me crazy. Yeah, they're crazy with the mask stuff. They're really crazy. Matter of fact, I saw one video where it was like a nervous breakdown of somebody talking about wearing a mask because they've been driven into madness by these people, by the mainstream media. That's what I was saying before. I blame the mainstream media for a lot of what's happening because people are driven. Okay, here it is right here. You guys got to see this. Now, maybe I'm wrong for laughing at this video, but hey, man, sometimes you got to laugh and it's okay. Don't even worry about it. All right, let's check it out. This is on the TikToks.
Incorrectly wearing the mask inside of the big building. Is this incorrectly worded, guys? Is this incorrectly worded? It wasn't like that the whole fucking...
Okay, so I gotta roll it back because if you're not watching it, you just listen to the audio only, might be kind of confused. Now, they appear to be in an elevator, and the one woman is recording this other woman freaking out. I'm talking about on a scale of 1 to 10, 5,000 freaking out because she's not wearing her mask properly, allegedly.
Incorrectly wearing the mask inside of the big building. Is this incorrectly worded, guys? Is this incorrectly worded?
And then the lady was like, pointing the camera to the reflection of herself on the elevator wall and saying that her mask was on right and asking, hey, is it improperly worn? Her mask was totally over her face and everything was fine. And then the lady was like, you didn't have it on like that from the beginning.
It wasn't like that the whole fucking...
And then here's somebody, before you get into it, she's like at her computer, probably doing some kind of online class. And she's like fed up with the online class. She had enough and she's trying to plead to the people that are out there watching this to put the mask on.
Can you guys just wear a mask? Can you please just wear a mask? I'm really over this. I'm really over it. Can you please wear a mask? Can you guys just wear a mask? Can you please just wear a mask? I'm really over this. I'm really over it. Can you please wear a mask?
People are crazy, but you know what? I shouldn't laugh, but this is what people are doing. They're going crazy. It's like, look, man, y'all got to stop for your own sake, for your own mental health. Just stop this madness. Just stop. Stop listening to Fauci. Stop watching the television. Stop being on the TikToks and the Twitters and the YouTubes. Just stop and just live your life. Period. Okay, wearing a mask, not wearing a mask. You gotta understand that's not what's causing you to be in front of your computer doing online learning. It's because you got a bad governor, bad mayor, or whatever the case may be. Go to Florida and live your life normal. How about that? But like one more time for the road, right quick. Just one more time for the road.
Can you guys just wear a mask? Can you please just wear a mask? I'm really over this. I'm really over it. Can you please wear a mask?
Oh man, yo, the videos are crazy. If I'm wrong for laughing, hey, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. But that's just funny. I don't care. Sometimes it's just funny. You can't do nothing but laugh. But okay, I'll move on. We'll get to the calls in a minute. I'll just hang tight. Shout out to Pete Sangria, who says, everyone please welcome the newest graduate of Justice Smollett Graduate School of Hoaxes, Alexandria Occasional Cortex. Thank you to Terranius, who says, if Texas goes woke, the country is done. What's to do with Bank of America? Well, I explained that earlier, but thank you for your donation. Thank you to Apu who says, ABL, you said Mitt was in your top 5 politicians you don't like. Who are the other 4? Maxine, AOC, Tlaib, Schumer, Biden, Harris, Clinton, Obama. Wow, you know what? Make a good point. I need the top 50 politicians I don't like. I need the top 100 I don't like. But Mitt, as of right when I said that, he's in my top 5 because he purports himself to be conservative, but goes out there and behaves as a liberal. So that's why I don't like Mitt Romney. That's why I don't like Mitt Romney. But that video, I'm sorry, that was hilarious. When I first saw it, I was crying laughing. But let's get back on track. Thank you to Sheila for your donation with the fist bump. I appreciate you. Thank you to, let me see, Laura who says, ABL, can you do a video on North Carolina Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson? He opposed a new woke social studies curriculum for public school. NCGOP portrayed as Klans member and editorial cartoon on a major news website. He happens to be black. Oh yeah, I met him before. Matter of fact, met Mark Robinson. Yeah, I met him at one of the Brexit rallies in Carolina. I think it was in Charlotte where I met him. Yeah, cool dude. There's an article right now on my website my wife wrote about Mark Robinson and that whole kerfuffle with the what's the name, about the whole thing with the cartoon, the racist cartoon. It's crazy how much things change. They stay the exact same. All right, you're talking about the racist Republicans. They're writing, they're making cartoons about black folks, all this, that, and the third, and the Democrats go and do the exact same thing they accuse us of doing. So it's like, who's doing what here? What's going on all this, this gaslighting and deflecting and stuff like that? Like, what's really going on? Just let me know what's happening so I know for my own sake. All right. So let's get to a few more super chats here. Let me see. Black Blast Gaming says, heard the FBI used a doctored photo of the Capitol that had a porn star in the... Yeah, I said that earlier. The FBI used a Photoshop picture they got from the internet of the Capitol to put in their official complaint, in their actual report. All right. It was crazy. It's like, look at what you're even doing. Do you know what you're doing at all? Or are you just putting stuff out there just willy-nilly? Shout out to Matthew Weatherspoon who says, enjoy your perspective. Thanks for sharing. Curious if and how your life has changed with the switch in the presidents. Placebo, right? Because nothing has changed. Thanks. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. Nah, everything's the same, really. Everything's the same. But see, the thing about it is, if I was in a different position, things may change for me in the future in a negative way. Like if I was a young guy trying to get my foot in the door, trying to get a job or something like that, and then you raising the minimum wage $15 an hour in 2025 or whenever they want to raise it, I might not be able to do that. If we're talking about taxes and stuff like that I got to pay, I'm not sure what they're going to do about that because the taxes does affect me. So, I mean, are they going to take away certain tax cuts? Like you're talking about thousands upon thousands you got to pay in taxes depending upon how the laws go. So I'm straight though. It wasn't like Biden got elected and all of a sudden the sky fell from, the sky and landed on my head. I'm pretty much good, but I fear for the future with the new administration. Hopefully we don't go down a deep, dark path that we're headed on right now. All right. We can stop what's happening right now, but we can't act like there's nothing going on at the same time. Thank you to Buck versus Windshield who says, Biden is horrible at foreign policy. He is favoring Iran, bolstering their army. He has caved to China on every turn. China is now massing troops. Exactly. They're in South China Sea right now. They're going to be in Yemen as well, but that's a different story. Thank you to Mason who says, 380 days of knowing about the virus. I've used the mask 5 times. Chinese virus. Thank you to Amelia for your donation. And shout out to Drunken Yoda who says, life has a 100% death rate on its own. That's facts. Ain't nothing but the truth. All right there. You can't argue against that one. People so scared about living life. People so scared about dying if you get to live. And it's like, hey man, you only get one life. You got to live it. Don't worry about just the potential of having something happen to you that you don't want. You still got to live your life. And before I get to the calls, this is me and Mark Robinson. This is in Charlotte. Matter of fact, this is last March, right before the virus, like right before the restrictions and stuff like that happened. This was March 5th. So I think this was a time where they were trying to get stuff, situated, and they were trying to figure out what they were going to do, all this, that, and the third. And after this, I went to LA to film the Jubilee thing. and that was like March 11th or so, right around then. It was like right when the thing broke, and that was in LA, in LAX, and people were wearing like, I was seeing bandanas, handkerchiefs, towels, towels on faces because everybody was like, "What do we do?" There was no real protocol to see, okay, what you're going to wear, what you're not going to wear, whatever. It was crazy. There's got to be a book about that whole experience coming out any day now because it was a crazy time, and it still is crazy what's happening right now. Okay, so let's get to the calls. Matter of fact, the number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, share the video, like the video, do all that good stuff. I'd appreciate it if you did. That'd be fantastic. Let's get to some calls. And let's get my microphone and everything set up the way it's supposed to be. Perfect. And let's do it. Hold on here. Make sure everything's right. All right, caller, I'm speaking to 786. Everything's good, man. About yourself?
I'm fine, thank you. It's me, Kendrick. Hey, what are your thoughts on, Candace Owens running for president, or at least there's, assumptions she might run for 2024?
Hey, I love it. If she needs me to be in her campaign, helping, doing whatever I can, I love it. She is a very smart person. I've met her quite a few times, and she's really smart. She knows how to market herself. She knows what people need. She'll be great. So I think she's a fantastic pick. If she was going to run, I say go ahead and do it.
Okay, and how do you think the Democrats or, liberals might react since, she's a Republican and she runs as a GOP, but, she's a black woman as well?
What's going to happen is they're going to send out some of the black liberals to attack her. The same way they always do. Like when we had some of the Brexit events, what'll happen is you'll turn on MS-13 DNC, CNN, CBS, and it'll be a whole panel of like 10 black liberals attacking us. When normally they wouldn't be there, they'll be there that day. They'll use them to attack us. So although you'll have the order straight from Jeff Zucker of CNN or whoever runs MS-13 DNC, the order will come from up high. It'll probably be a white person giving the order, but it'll be black folks doing the order, just like Malcolm X, but that's a different story.
Yeah, because obviously I understand the double standards. Also, I heard there was a Democrat lowering the voting age to 16, but what do you think is the reasonable age to start voting?
The reasonable age is, keep it the way it is now. Don't change it. They're trying to, what the crazy part is, the left, they're kind of, they speak with a forked tongue all the time. They're against school choice. They're against better education for kids, but having school choice. Then at the same time, they say lower the voting age. They want dumber people to vote. That's the reality because they want to have kids dumber and they want them to vote. And everybody knows the dumber you are and the more you've been brainwashed by politics, you're going to vote towards the left. That's just what it is. Dumber you are, younger you are, you're going to vote left. And they think that young people are young and dumb. That's their viewpoint, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, because I found it silly that they, for some reason, I forgot who the Democrat, they said that, that it's because of racism. It's anti-racism, which is dumb because age doesn't really have to do anything with racism, but just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Well, I thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay, thanks, man. See you.
All right, shout out to the caller. Yeah, they want young, dumb voters. Now, I'm not saying everybody that's young is dumb, but that's what the Democrats think. And to a certain extent, like if you're a younger voter, you're going to have less life experience. So they bank on that, thinking that you've not even done with your high school. You could be a 10th grader voting. You've not even got done with your education yet. You've not had that life experience. And a lot of times when the people get older, they regret what they did when they were younger. That's just life. That's nothing to be offended by. That's just reality. When I was 16, that was all I was really trying to do was just play basketball and chase girls. I didn't know nothing about politics. You know, I learned a lot when I got older. Now, a lot of these kids nowadays are really smart, smarter than I ever was when I was a kid. But a lot of kids aren't. A lot of these kids are TikTok zombies. They don't even know what's going on around them. So if they see something on TikTok that says vote for, Johnny Appleseed, they'll do it. Let's get to the next call. All right, call you on speaker to 207.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy you answered right now. All I wanted to say is I do love your show. It's amazing. I used to be a Democrat, and I listened to Ben Shapiro for 20 minutes, and I totally changed my, status as a Democrat. I'm totally Republican. I'm pro-Trump. All I wanted to say is the mask shit is
Hold on.
bullshit.
Like, I can't curse. You can't curse. That's all.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. This mask crap is bull crap. I don't like the fact that they're telling us to wear 2 masks. Where are we going to stop? 100 masks? How many? I go to work at night and all I can do is yawn because my brain is not getting oxygen. It's pretty sad, but that's pretty much all I had to talk about.
Well, thank you for your call.
I'm so happy you just answered. Thank you, ABL. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Yes, bye-bye.
Shout out to the caller. Great call. All righty. Sky caller, who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Kelly.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing. Can't complain. So what's going on? What's on your mind?
Oh my goodness. I think the main thing that's on my mind is the vaccine. I'm a teacher, and we've been teaching in person, and we're required to wear a mask unless we have a medical reason, and this is how I teach.
Wow. Now, okay, because I got you on the screen, but if they can't really see because of the light, you have on there you go. It's like a shield that you had around your neck that goes up. It's like a fourth of a dog collar, basically. That's clear.
Here's how it works. I'm like this, and my kids can see my face because we know that I know that communication is 93.7. Only 7% is our words. There's you want to smile, and we lose so much. And so if nobody's in my room, I can let it fall. But this is how I teach every day.
Wow.
And I smile, and at the beginning of the year, someone said in our meeting, well, I think there's people that think they're just going to wear a shield. And we're in a whole auditorium of people. And I turned, and I'm like, are you speaking to me? And we have great administration, and the administration said, do you have a problem with the mask? Do you have a medical issue? And that person said, well, no. He goes, then I have nothing to say to you. So, but I went to my doctor and had the form filled out. But I had a person say, well, how's that shield working for you? And I said, better than your mask is working for you. The point is to stop droplets,
That's right. That's
stop
right.
matter, whatever it is. I said, I'll guarantee you that this shield is less permeable than your mask.
All day long, 100%.
And he said, well, and just being facetious or, not being nice, he says, well, if you go outside, you'll drown. He's being silly. And I said, if I go outside, I'm breathing regular air. And it's just amazing to me to see people who are masking up, pulling the mask down to smoke a cigarette.
Right. It's like, what are you doing? You're like totally just devaluing the whole thing. And you get in the, if you got the mask right below the cigarette, you get in the smoke from the cigarette on your mask, plus whatever you've been breathing throughout the day, food
absolutely.
And everything else is unsanitary. It's just you're causing more issues by doing that. What are we even doing?
Well, this is, I took notes. I don't know if you've heard Simone Gold's, her she talked about the vaccine, and she said, don't ever call it a vaccine. Use the word experimental. It's an experimental biological agent. It has new mRNA technology that has never been used before, ever. It has no known and proven benefits. None. Nothing that's been proven long-term benefits. It's a brand new, untested, untried technology from a company that is completely shielded from immunity when there are drugs that are 65 years old, billions of doses, completely safe for all age groups. So, I'm not going to be the guinea pig at all. If you go to AFLDS, AmericanFrontlineDoctors.com, and you scroll through their media and find the videos, there's a complete, like a 56-minute video that I suggest, at least if you're going to make a life possibly altering decision, maybe you should get all of the information that's available.
That's right. 100% correct.
Okay, well, it's exciting to do Skype.
Yeah, definitely. And that mask that you had, the shield, that was something else. I'm glad you're able to give me that visual aid. I appreciate that.
This is, I'm not pulling up. You want me to tell the people where I got it? And I can put it in the chat as well in a minute.
Oh, you can go for it. Yeah.
Okay, it's called Z-Verse. V-E-R-S-E. Z-Verse Flex Shield.
Okay.
And so, and the people, there are people that it makes them angry. They're angry that I'm wearing the shield and not a mask. And I just smile so big at them. Good morning. How are you? Big smile. And you had a person just on the chat a while ago that was, dogging teachers. Every teacher isn't in that same boat. And I have one last thing, and I know you're busy. I do not call the person that has stolen the trophy and said he won the game. I do not call him by his name. I call him Viper because he is a viper, and the venom is the ink in his pen.
Wow. Very well said. Thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thanks.
Wow, great call. Yeah, that shit was crazy. the visual aid, that was something else. Yeah, but hey, it's like, look, you say, okay, you got to block the droplets, right? That's the whole point, blocking the droplets. So I got on the 4/4 dog collar that's clear. What you going to do? I'm blocking the droplets. Don't get triggered. I mean, this is a mask too because it's blocking. I can't. You know what I mean? And the shield is not permeable, or it's like it's almost like 0% impermeable. If I pour water on it, it's not going to just come out the bottom. But if I pour water on the mask, it's going to come straight through because it's permeable. All right. So we got quite a few calls on the line. Let me get to those. And the number to call is right there, 434-658-1220. It's also always in the description box below. All righty. Let's get to 480. You're on the line. I'm speaking to.
Hey, what's going on, ABL? It's Earth Monkey. I thought that mask was actually somewhat cool. I don't usually like the masks, but that one there, the one thing that's getting me this entire pandemic is people going up and touching their face, adjusting their mask. The one thing we always heard prior to masks was when it's the flu season or you're sick, don't touch your face, don't touch like your orifices, right? And then I was also thinking on the first caller there, with the voting age, I think it should be 21. We don't have our full rights until we're 21 as far as like drinking or entering places or getting certain jobs. So in that manner, I think in order for us to vote, we should have the full range of rights that we're voting on. And then my question for you tonight, which kind of have something to lead it with, but what do you think about the U.S. prison system as far as privatized system where we make money off of our prisoners?
Well, I mean, I'm not really necessarily totally against it. I mean, my thing is this. if we're going to have prisons, let's make sure that they're run properly and the inmates are not mistreated. Now, I'm not the kind of guy that says, they got to have spa dates and stuff like that and whatnot. I'm just saying, have it be humane. It's just as far as what the U.S. standards are. Don't have prisons where you got guys freezing to death and stuff like that. I think it was one situation where a guy froze to death in the cell. You can't do that. But as long as they're run properly and it's not people being mistreated, then I don't think it's really a big problem.
So the reason I ask, the UN came out recently and said that they want to deem it as kind of like a Nuremberg thing, to where we're doing, I don't know exactly what to call it, but basically where we're going against humanity, a crime against humanity with our prison systems, that we're making money off of it. And then I also bring in Julian Assange, his extradition. The entire reason why he actually wasn't brought to the U.S., he was going to be brought, but because they made such a strong case that if he was put into U.S. public prisons, that he would most likely kill himself, pull an Epstein. And at that point, the judge denied it. So the overall was based off of health, but when you look into it, it's because he would have most likely committed suicide in U.S. prison. So I'm like, wow, that's kind of interesting there when you bring up the Jeffrey Epstein thing, and then you look at Assange not wanting to come here for the same thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, Epstein definitely, might probably got iced in the penitentiary or in the federal holding cell. So, and the thing about it, Epstein was in the federal joint. That's state run. So it wasn't even a private place.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So it's just like, I think the whole thing with private prisons, my thing is don't go to jail to begin with. And
exactly,
if we had less government intervention in our lives, there'd be less laws to break. You got so many little ticky-tack things you can go to jail for. It's kind of ridiculous. So that's not really, that's not a private prison problem. That's the United States government problem. So with less government, that'd be the solution right there.
At the same time, they're adding more with all the gun rights, the Shira Shaka Baka, whatever it's called, the new gun law they're putting in.
Exactly.
And then they got the, when you look at marijuana, if you look at the states, only 6 states fully follow the federal mandate to not have weed legal in their state. So it's decriminalized, or it's medical, or it's fully legal in every other state. So, we look at some laws and then we're going and taking away others. It's like they just want everybody to get high and be hippies and not protect themselves and forget about what the government's doing and let themselves take control. You know what I mean?
Right.
I smoke. I'm not putting anybody down. All seriousness, I do, but I still pay attention to what's going on. I try to stay informed because I know if we don't stand today, then we're all going to be kneeling tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Very well said.
But I hope you guys all have a good night. Your chat always rocks. They always got something good to say. Hope you have a good night. And if you guys want to follow me, I'm Earth Monkey on YouTube. I love you, ABL, and I love your content. It's good stuff. But yeah, hope you guys all have a good one.
All right, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
You as well.
All right, that was a good call from my man, Earth Monkey. He is on the YouTubes. So let me try to find his link right quick. I'll put it in the chat for him. Ain't no problem. Earth Monkey. All right, and let's go ahead and put his channel in the description. In the chat box, pardon me. Yeah, private prisons. I don't really care too much about private prison. Like, my thing is, if you have a private prison that's run better than the state joint, because Epstein got popped in the or he died in the state joint because he was in MCC. That's a federal detention center. So that's the state joint. My thing is, make sure all the prisoners are not mistreated as far as any kind of like laws. Don't violate any laws and have less regulation and stuff on the books. You got guys in jail for child support. So it's not like a debtor's prison, and child support is a state mandated thing. Like, I knew a guy that had child support on his credit report, and it was like from the state of X, Y, and Z, wherever the state was, I won't say. So you got a lot of rules and laws that need to kind of just get rescinded. Too much regulation. Regulation creates criminals. You got guys going to the penitentiary, not even really knowing why they go. And they say that you can't say I didn't know about the law because you cannot claim ignorance as an excuse for the law. So that's the main thing. The issue is not private prisons. The issue is just too much regulation, too much government. All right, because I mean, let's talk about Germany and the camps. Were those private or were they state run? But I digress. All right, call you on loudspeaker to 917.
Hi, Anthony.
Yes, it's me. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, this is Ray from Brooklyn. Wait, I just want to shut the background noise. Okay, yeah, because I was kind of, I hear something in your background though.
My background is pretty much clear.
Okay, okay. Well, I shut mine. Okay, I called the other night, and I'm frustrated about a lot of things, but I want to talk about the mask. Again, my name is Ray, and I'm from Brooklyn, and I've had a couple of comments about my last phone call to you, not from you, but from, other people making fun of my Brooklyn accent, and that's okay. I know that they make fun of that because they're afraid, and that's all right. But anyway, I want to say something about wearing the mask. I wear my mask. I wear my mask when I go into all the stores because I know I have to. I know I can't shop if I don't wear the mask, and somebody will come over and harass me. But I don't believe that it's protecting me. I just do it out of respect for everyone's fears. I feel as if that mask says, we might as well have a little, sign on the mask that says silence, because I feel like it's a testament to the times. Like we need to be silent. We need to not say, what we feel or what we think. We need to just be silent and follow, the crowd, the crowd that's, not going in the direction that, of course, we, meaning the more conservative people, want to go. And we know that it's a lie and it's all wrong. So I'm very frustrated about that. But again, I wear my mask. I'm wondering, I'm still hearing stuff in the background. So can you hear me?
I hear you very well. What are you hearing? Are you hearing clicking?
Yeah, I'm hearing stuff from, maybe if I shut my television, but it's weird. I'm just hearing stuff from, from maybe what has been discussed previous to me.
Okay, yeah, because my end is totally silent. I got headphones on. It's total silence.
Oh yes, I shut my TV and it's gone.
There we go. All righty.
So I don't know. That's my frustration. I have had my episodes where I will go into a place with my mask on, and then somebody will say, well, don't wear it below your nose, pull up your mask. And then I sort of have an episode and I flip out and I don't, curse or anything. I just tell them what I think about all of this, that it's nonsense, and, we're all just being programmed to be silenced. And again, the mask, the covering of the mouth, the covering of the face, the identity, because you can't even, I walk down the street, I see my friends, and I don't even recognize them because they have a mask on. And I have a mask, and they don't recognize me because I have a mask on. So I am very frustrated over that, and I know that it is some sort of training. When they say re-education, they want to re-educate us to be silent and to not oppose anything, and to just go by what they're telling us. And can I ask you, do you agree with me in any way? Does that make sense?
Well, there's a lot there. So what's your specific question?
My specific question is the mask symbolic of telling us you need to be silent? We don't want to hear from you. We want you just to be silent and obey.
Yeah, I do believe that. It's also a way to get people to obey certain things, to get them prepared. So, okay, wear a mask, do it now, and everybody says okay. So then what's next? Okay, how about you go do X, Y, and Z and don't say anything? Okay, we're going to do it. So where does it end? And I saw they had this interesting test over in China, to test for the virus, and it goes in a really uncomfortable place where the sun don't shine. It's like, okay, if they say you got to take that kind of test for the virus, I'm not doing it. But some are going to do it. You be like, you know what? I don't want the virus. I want to be sure. I don't want to get grandma sick, so I'll do it. People are crazy. They're making people become more compliant and more obedient to things that are ridiculous, basically.
Yeah, they're forcing us, because if you don't, I mean, if you're kind of just a regular, Jane Doe, or Joe Blow or whatever, no one's going to be threatening you and knocking on your door, anything like that. But you still feel obliged, because your whole family, everybody in your family they're complying. They're like, well, I'm not going to get harassed. So I don't want to get, penalized. I don't want to lose my benefits. So it's like they have the upper hand in every way. And I know this sounds very dismal. I don't want to,
I got you.
I don't want to be the one to kind of, bring this dark cloud over everything. But it really does seem that way, that we don't really have a fight. I mean, with the exception of people like you, okay, who are voicing all these, the opposition of what's happening to us. That's all we have. We don't have anything else. I can't go out there. I'm older. I'm not young. I can't go out and march with a sign all by myself, and get beat up and all that stuff. I have to be, I want to live, but I certainly don't want to be a slave, and that's what they want us to be, slaves. So that's all I have to say.
Well,
I'm just calling for that reason.
Thank you for your call. I definitely appreciate you.
Thank you, Anthony, and you be blessed. Okay.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
All righty. And thank you to all you guys for calling in. The number to call is 434-658-1220. And you guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. So if you're not subscribed yet, I don't know what you're waiting on. Go ahead and subscribe right now. I'd appreciate it if you did. Let's go. Okay. Hold on one second here. Let me just make sure I got it. There we go. All right, 304, you're online. I'm speaking to 304, hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
I hear you well. Turn your speakers off in the background for me, please. Caller, can you hear me? Okay, turn the background noise off, please. The speakers at YouTube, turn it off, please. All right, man, what's going on?
I was calling, a long-time viewer of your buddy. I'm from West Virginia myself, Clarksburg, West Virginia. I don't know, I was just kind of wondering what you thought about the whole Capitol shooting thing with the Ashley shooting. I don't know if you've looked into that in depth or whatnot. And I was just curious if you've looked into that and what your opinions of it were.
I mean, it's kind of open and shut, really, because what happened was they were going into a restricted area that they could not actually be, because that's where the senators were. And what happened was there was an officer right there with his gun drawn. It was already drawn for a minute, and they were trying to get to that particular area. So then when they had broken the window and she was trying to get across that boundary, he shot her one time and she died. It's unfortunate, but it's like, he had his gun drawn, so you can't go forward if the gun is drawn. At that point, you got to stop. But she did not.
Well, I agree with you there. Have you watched any of the in-depth analysis of it?
I mean, I saw the actual shooting. I mean, that's pretty much all needs to be shown. I saw before she got shot and afterwards, and that was pretty much it. Like, he had his gun drawn. They showed that, and it was drawn for a while before she got beyond the window. And then when she got to the point where she was trying to get beyond the window, he let it go one time, and then that was it.
Well, there's a video that breaks it down very well from 6 different angles, and it shows you 6 different angles of it, which I can send you a link to. And it shows her movements while she's on the ground. It shows when the glass falls out and as she approaches the glass. And then it also shows the person who shoots, and it shows all of it frame by frame and calculates it in a very interesting analysis. And it also shows blood droplets that mysteriously appear from nowhere, and it shows her her tucking something into her underneath her, which is very strange.
Okay, so you're saying that maybe she didn't get shot?
I don't know because I don't know all the facts. I wasn't there. I'm just saying. I'm just going off a video I saw that showed multiple different angles, and it made it look very suspect. Like if you look at a frame by frame second and you look at where the actual timestamp is, at 1 second she has no blood on her, and then like 0.2 seconds later she has blood, which wasn't there, and you don't see it actively occur. And then you see some other strange things. So and the whole thing is very weird because you see people moving around, doing things that, if you're a medic, for one, make no sense whatsoever. You see people messing around with a little like towelette or whatever for 30 seconds, and that's strange because you're not doing nothing with that whenever you have a bloodshot wound. If you have a wound, whenever you're shot, you're going to pack it. First thing you're going to do is try to pack it, depending on where it's at. You're going to pack it to make sure that the blood stops bleeding and it coagulates. So there's a few strange things about that, and I was just wondering if you ever looked into any of that.
Nah, I mean, I pretty much saw it. I saw the video, so I've not seen an analysis of the video, but I think I saw enough to make my own decision. But what you're saying sounds interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the same thing. A video I saw, it looked like a clear-cut shooting, and I was like, okay, y'all are in a place where you're not supposed to be, and you got shot for entering an area where you're not supposed to be. And then I saw another video, which, like I said, it broke down 6 different angles of it. And it was very interesting, and it showed a whole bunch of different angles, people on the ground, people around it, the woman herself, all sorts of stuff. And it made it look very, very sketchy.
Gotcha. Well, thank you for the call, man. Thank you for the call.
Well, you're welcome, buddy. Just like I said, look into that. If you want, I could send you a link of it.
Gotcha. Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, have a good one.
All right, shout out to the caller. Yeah, I mean to cut him, but he was trying to kind of repeating. But I get it. I mean, I saw it, and it's pretty much cut and dry in my opinion. But I understand how you could look at the video and it could paint a different picture. So I'll check it out. But I think my mind is already made up. But it's unfortunate that she died. But it's like, what else is going to happen? Like, if the police officer got his gun drawn on you, what's going to happen when you go forward? Don't go forward. And he didn't shot her one time. And you had these people that was kind of like crowding around her, preventing her from being able to get treatment. It was just so much going on. It was just a bad situation because people just amped up, their adrenaline's pumping, and not thinking clearly, meaning those that were just out there right around her. Those that were trying to get in the window. If you were thinking clearly, you wouldn't have gone that way. When you see a gun out, they probably didn't even see the gun because they're so focused on just trying to go forward and not even thinking about, hey, can I be here? Like, what's going on around me? If I'm going anywhere, I'm going to observe my surroundings. Okay, what's happening? Anybody got their gun out? Like, it's sad, though, man. It's really sad. But what else? What is the actual consequence of that going to be when an officer when they got the gun drawn out? What you think going to happen next? All right, let's get to the next one. 732, you in the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, this is Tyler. I'm from New Jersey. I'm actually a college student. I've listened to you for a long time. Just want to say that I'm a great fan. And I know a lot of people are talking about, like, the vaccine, but I wanted to focus more on AOC and how she's kind of just the epitome of the elitist left. And you kind of combine that with Nancy Pelosi. And if you saw, she violated her own order.
What order was this?
You can't enter the House something without going through security, and other Congress people have been fined.
So who went in there? Without security? Was that AOC or Pelosi? Who
Nancy
did that?
Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi didn't go through security as she had ordered everyone to do, and other people have been getting fined, and she just did it without. So my whole point here is they feel that no one will really check them.
Right. Yeah. basically
They have the whole
rules for
media
thee,
on
not
their
for me.
side.
Yeah, rules
Yeah,
for thee, not
rules
for
for thee, not for me.
Yeah.
My whole point exactly. It all started with COVID when Nancy Pelosi was going into Chinatown and getting her hair done. And it's just crazy because I live in one of the most liberal states, and it's just, I see it all around me every day. Like people wearing masks, people so scared and not even seeing that the leaders don't care.
Right. Yeah, they don't even observe what's happening around them. They're talking about, okay, we got to close down some lines for safety, all this and that. Meanwhile, like you said, Nancy Pelosi's going and getting her hair done, no mask on, just living her life like normal.
Gavin Newsom going to one of the most expensive restaurants in California.
Oh yeah, and you know the
people at home.
The thing about that, about the whole Gavin Newsom thing, it was not just him and his wife and something. Nah, you had like 22 people,
whole party.
and you're talking about doctors with no mask on. So it's like, okay,
yeah,
like what are y'all doing?
And I mean, I don't want to say, I know that the virus is a thing, but then you look at the CDC charts and the flu has gone away, or the deaths for pneumonia in 2020 were near zero. And it's just crazy. Like, how did they expect people not to do their own research? And then when people do their own research, they get flagged by social media, they get outcast, they get blacklisted. It's crazy. I mean, it's just such an elitist society that we're living in, where if you are a free thinker and you want to choose what you believe and choose the truth instead of choosing what makes people comfortable, you're an outcast. You're a bigot.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? This is why you got a lot of websites that are starting to pop up, people's independent websites away from social media, you know, because you can't rely upon these third-party platforms to keep you afloat. Facebook, Twitter, and like, nah, they do whatever they want to do to push a narrative. That's why when you have your own website, your own platform, they can't touch you because you can do that on your own without them.
And then the hard part about that is like what happened with Parler when they purchased the domain from Amazon sites, and then Amazon's like, well, now you can't have your site anymore. What are we supposed to do then? Purchase, like they're trying to make it that conservatives are either taken away from society or have to create their own society.
Yeah, see the thing about Parler, that's a whole different story right there. They did not have their stuff together because Gab is somehow still around. Like, why are they not?
Yeah, I don't know.
You see, because they did things right. See, but like part of that is not Parler's fault. Part of it is, but the point is that you have to be prepared for all these different things. People having their websites hosted on Squarespace. That's dumb because Squarespace ain't no different than Twitter. It's a third-party platform. So people got to just get a little bit smarter and think ahead of what these people on the left are going to do with their social media platforms, hosting, and everything else.
Yeah. And then just real quick, if you didn't see this, I'm not sure if you know about Bryson Gray, but he posted something on Instagram today. It was a tweet from Candace Owens saying that she might be thinking about running for president. I don't know. I thought that was pretty awesome.
Oh, definitely. Like I was saying earlier, I definitely would vote for her. If she needs any help, I'm right there with her. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of Candace and Bryson. Good people.
So my final question, just to wrap this all up, is a lot of people are talking about a Patriot Party. And, you know, I'm not opposed to not renaming ourselves, but changing from the classical GOP where it's focused on big business and wars and all that stuff. But it's hard to kind of splinter a party like that without literally splitting the party and then giving all of the power to the left. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yes, that's what I was saying before. Like, my solution is this. Do like what AOC and them are doing, because in reality, they are Democrats like AOC and the Squad, Rashida Tlaib, Ayanna Pressley. They are Democrats, but they also operate. Ilhan Omar. They also operate as their own party within the party. What's that?
Yeah, they
brand new Congress.
The party and then they push their radical leftist.
Yes, like and their whole thing is to move the Democratic Party all the way far to the left within the Democratic Party. That should be our focus as well. Have a group of people that aren't a separate party, but operate in the Republican Party to move that in the right direction.
Yeah, if you look at Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, I feel like she was kind of trying to do that, and then she just got railroaded, man.
See the problem with
MG. She was saying some crazy stuff. I mean,
I didn't look at everything on her, but I know that she was trying to move the Republican Party more into a factual, don't just follow the herd kind of thing.
The problem with her is that she did not have enough support. Too many establishment people just trying to get their checks and go to these high-dollar dinners. She didn't have the support. So if you have her, she can be, in my opinion, she could be the spearhead of the party within the party. She can be the leader of that new party in the party.
Yeah.
If she did that, I'd be over the moon. That'd be great.
Yeah. It's just so disappointing seeing all of these Republicans, even as early as 2020, that we thought were on our side, turning on the president and turning on just the people so that they could save their butts in the establishment.
Right. Exactly, man. Well, thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, great. Keep doing what you're doing. Love your stuff, brother.
Appreciate you, man.
Have a great night.
Thank you. All right. Yeah, that's how you got to do it. Having a separate party has no chance, really. All it would do is just fracture the party. You want to go in there and change the party by force. Okay, have people that are Republicans, that get voted in, but want to have the party go in a different direction, move it and get it back on track. Because you don't want the Mitch McConnells of the world and the Mitt Romneys of the world to dictate the party. You want to have newer and different people in there to get it back on track. Because what's happening right now, people talking about, the two-party system is failing. That's looking at it the wrong way. You're looking at old school ways of thinking. The actual problem is having a one-party system coming about where ain't no difference between the left and the right. So you want to have some type of difference in between the parties rather than having communist China. Because China is just one party. Ain't no Democrat, Republican, left, right. Nah, it's just, here's the ruling party and we're going to do X, Y, and Z. Okay, and the way that they operate in China is like kind of primitive, really. When you're talking about government, it's like gangbanger type stuff. If you get on the wrong side of somebody and they got a problem with you, you might get disappeared. They made Jack Ma disappear for like 3 months, allegedly. Like, where was he at the whole time? He was just gone. And then they saw him again, like at his house. Is he on house arrest? Why? That's how they operate over there, because there's no checks and balances. It's only just one party. They do whatever they want. And whoever the next tough guy is that gets to a high level of position of power, he kind of runs the show. 803 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, Anthony. This is Rob.
All righty, man. What's going on?
I'm a I'm a high school student. I'm 17, actually. And I just thought I could go over some of the vaccine and masks. I'm a pre-med. I go to a medical institution. I'm not really going to elaborate on that. I'd rather not dox myself. But I could go over some of the stuff, such as the vaccine, really quickly. So as far as the mRNA vaccine goes, is messenger RNA, it's similar to what a regular vaccine is going to be, except the thing about it is that it's skipping a step of what the regular natural process would be when you're using just a typical vaccine, which would be the dead virus or pathogen. So when you inject the vaccine into you, this one has those mRNA strands already made, and the B lactome or B cells are going to intake this RNA and copy it to create the spike protein. And the spike protein will be released and will result in an immune response. So the problem with this is, especially if you've already had the coronavirus, then you already have that DNA inside of those B cells. So you're going to result in potentially bad mutations, a number of different things, such as reproductive issues. And so it's not necessarily bad. It's just that there hasn't been much research done on it. And you should ask your physician, really, whether or not you should get it. And if you don't trust them, you should get a second opinion. But, I mean, it's not going to be as safe and effective as typical ones are. It's easier and faster to manufacture, and it's going to work quicker, which is why they went with it.
Now, does that ease and speed come at the cost of safety?
That's the thing. And really, if you're a healthy individual, personally, I wouldn't recommend taking it.
Right.
I probably will not take it. But exactly, that's the thing. You should have safety over the ease and how much faster it's easier to produce. It can just go faster. You can replicate it. You can just do the PCR and just put it in a test tube and it will just continue replicating.
Gotcha.
And that's why it's easier and faster for them. And as far as masks go, there's a really good study that was done on them. It's entitled "The Efficacy of Masks and Face Coverings in the Controlling of Outward Aerosol Particle Emissions from Expiratory Activities." And specifically, Figure 2 has a very nice plot and whisker chart that shows the different amount of particles that come out between. There's, I think, like 5 different masks that they tested. There were some cloth masks, surgical mask, of course, KN95, N95. You can see N95 was very effective, but the rest, compared to the control, they really didn't do much. And that's on the outward projection of them. That's not even protecting you. That's just on stopping particles from spreading. So, yes, it does help a little bit, but what most people, especially the media and physicians that go on the media and talk about it, don't take into account is that there are other modes of transmission, such as surface to surface. So when you're touching your mask and people fold it up and put it in their pocket, and then they take it out, and you can use both sides. So, your hands secrete microscopic bits of oil that can soak into that and then potentially have the pathogen in it. And I don't see how physicians can just skip over that, especially the ones on television. I guess the ones on television are politicized. But, I mean, that's just an entire mode of transmission that you just skipped over, combining that with the number one portal of entry being your mouth. It just, it doesn't make sense to me.
I'm with you, man. I think that people on television, it's a political thing, because I remember when Fauci first spoke on the mask thing, he was like, hey, don't wear it. It's not really going to help you. It might be like a droplet here and there, but unless you're sick, you don't need to wear it. And then the very next month, he said, oh, well, yeah, you got to wear a mask because it'll block droplets. So I feel like a lot of these statements are just politically motivated and not so much rooted in science. That's just my opinion, though.
Exactly. And that's he was telling the truth from the beginning. He was being an actual, he was being real from the beginning. And then people got to him, or someone got to him, and they offered him something, or he just wanted to, I don't know if it's his politics or not, and he changed his tune on it. He was right from the beginning. I don't know why he changed that. It's kind of sad.
Exactly, man.
I thank you for your call. Being that kind of a person. Yes, sir. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
All right, thank you. All right, great call. Smart young man. I like all the smart young people calling in. It's hope for the future. The left thinks that the young people are just kind of lost and playing on the TikToks and whatnot. You got a lot of smart people out there, very smart people out there that can provide hope for the future. So shout out to the caller. All right, great call. Let's get to the next one here. And the number to call is 434-658-1220. Let's go. All righty. 860, you're in the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello?
Yes.
Oh, I couldn't hear you for a second there. Hi, Anthony and Sonia. How you doing?
Everything's all right. How about yourself?
All right. Did you see the video of, I think it was Rashida Tlaib, crying about the Capitol incident? And I didn't realize until after, because I didn't have the volume on or anything, that she wasn't even there on that day.
Yeah, I saw her out there. That was crazy. The funniest thing is when I've seen that same clip with like Photoshop or like video edited backgrounds, and they have actual riot footage playing behind them. Some of the BLM stuff playing behind them. I was like, yeah, that's better. That's much better.
I think she was thanking Allah that she was home that day, and AOC was consoling her or something. Oh my goodness.
So cringy, super cringy.
Well, Alexandria Ocasio Smollett, she also narrowly escaped Normandy, you heard?
Yeah, pretty much.
The memes are crazy about her, but you know what's better than memes?
What's that?
Songs. Because I saw that Jen Psaki, she didn't know anything about the latest executive order that Joe Biden had signed regarding catch and release. And I was really confused because I thought, even if everybody was on board with open borders, let's just pretend we were all good with that. How does that help during a pandemic? And I'm surprised they don't even try to put a pause to it and use the pandemic as an excuse, because the people coming in could have COVID, and since they're all, the ones that are paranoid, right? The Democrats are the ones that are so paranoid about the virus and all that. How do they explain it with the open borders? I don't understand.
They totally just ignore that whole part. It's like, okay, you got open borders. They're going to have all kind of stuff with them, and you have no idea where they're going to get. They're not going to some kind of fancy schmancy place to get a virus test and the vaccine or whatever. And then on top of that, they got all kind of other illnesses, smallpox and mumps, measles, all of that. So, I mean, you're opening the country to that. You're talking about if you're an anti-vaxxer in general, you are a bad person. But you're going to let in 10,000 people that don't have any vaccines at all. So what are we doing?
And assume that they're going to social distance and wear the mask and all that. But the reason why I brought up the song was because when she, I think, was confused about that, they were joking about the circle back thing again. So it was a lot of memes going around. And then I saw, coincidentally, Topher, he did a song called Circle Back. I don't know if you heard it yet.
I have not heard it, but I saw the thumbnail for that. I got to check it out.
Oh, it was really good. It was a lot of fun. He said he missed Kaylee Mack, and I'm like, me too. But I wanted to ask you, too, about Marjorie Taylor Greene, because I know she's been stripped from her committee. And I wanted to know what you thought about that real quick, because I was surprised that 11 Republicans voted to get her off, and one of them, or maybe more than one, was part of the freshman class that went in there. So that really threw me because, they came in together in the year of the Republican woman, and for some reason, they voted against her. So let's just pretend that, we're not thrilled about the conspiracy theories or her association with Q, whether you believe it or not. Do those things bother you? Because my thing is, even if she is associated with those things, she was voted in by the people, right? So if Congress is going to strip her from her committees, then why do they keep her at all? Because if she's a problem because of those things that they say that she's associated with, then how can she still be working in Congress, period?
Well, I think they can't really kick her out of Congress. It's one kind of like give her a slap on the wrist. Because if you're able to kick her out, then it's like it's the same thing that they say that we're trying to do with Trump, trying to overturn the election, because she did get elected in. They didn't appoint her to Congress. She was elected by her constituents in Georgia. So you can't just say, oh, well, she doesn't deserve to be here. We're going to kick her out. You can't do that. So
no, and I don't want them to.
Yeah,
but I'm just thinking, how can they take her off her committees then?
I don't really know how that really works. And I guess some kind of weird rules. I don't know how that really works. But, I like Marjorie Taylor Greene. I think the whole thing with the Q and all of that's kind of been blown out of proportion, because I listened to what she was saying about specific issues, even back in 2018, and it weren't really that crazy. It was like things I've already been hearing for a long time, not even associated with Q. So it's like they're just overreacting. They're trying to make her be the new Donald Trump, the new proverbial punching bag, to, point at as a crazy, ridiculous person, and then paint everyone as a crazy and ridiculous person, when in reality, they have many more crazies that are much more crazy than she could ever be.
Well, yeah, like all the things that they believe in is crazy, and they want us to ignore the obvious. But I think they're going after her because she put in those papers for Biden's impeachment, even though that's never going to happen. But I think that's what really they might be more upset about, maybe, than everything else.
Probably so.
I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But I'll leave you with this. Wear a mask. Please. Wear a mask. I didn't know that was real. I had to stop what I was doing to look at the TV. Okay, ciao. Until next time, Anthony.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate you.
Bye.
Oh, man, that video, I promise, that's the funniest video I've seen in a long time. Hilarious. I'm gonna play that one more time, just if you came in recently and you didn't see the video I played earlier, you got to see it just at least one time in your life. Let me find it right quick. This originally appeared on the TikToks. Let me see if I can find it right quick on my page. And if you like what you're hearing so far, if you enjoyed the video so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, please do that. That'll help me out tremendously. And here it is. Matter of fact, okay. Now, if you are not watching it, you're just listening, it's two different videos in this one clip. The first one is a lady on the elevator with another lady. One lady or young girl, young woman, she's freaking out about the other lady not wearing a mask, and the lady that she's freaking out on is filming her. And the second one, the lady is, on a laptop, probably like distance learning or distance working or something. So let's see the first one first.
Incorrectly wearing the mask inside of a big building.
Is this incorrectly worn, guys? Is this incorrectly worn?
It wasn't like that the whole time. Can you guys just wear a mask? Can you please just wear a mask? I'm really over this. I'm really over it. Can you please wear a mask? Thanks. Incorrectly.
Oh, that video, maybe I'm wrong for laughing at that, but that video is too much. This one, like this right here, this is comedy gold. Comedy gold. One more time, just for the road. And then I'm going to get back to the call. So the number to call is 434-658-1220.
Can you guys just wear a mask? Can you please just wear a mask? I'm really over this. I'm really over it. Can you please wear a mask? Thanks.
Oh, man. Okay, I'm done. All right, I'm finished for real. Yeah, that's crazy. Y'all got to stop with this mask hysteria. You're driving that poor girl crazy. All right, Fauci talking about, oh, you got to wear 2 masks. Stop it, sir. You're driving her nuts. She's losing her mind completely. The marbles are lost. The marbles are just shaking up and out the skull right now. All right. Hey, she was saying, can you please wear a mask? Because she didn't want to do any more distance learning, probably, because she's running her laptop. And she's like, yo, I'm done. I can't take it anymore. And she's like speaking to the audience, like, can you guys please wear a mask? Oh, man. All right. Let me get to the next one. All right, callers. Who are you speaking to? 210, hello. 210, hello. It's ABL. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, dang. Hey, how's it going? I didn't know I got through.
Oh, it's all good, man. What's happening?
How's it going, man? So I've been subscribed to you for a while. I'm actually out of San Antonio, Texas. My name's Bill, and I'm 23. Honestly, man, I just wanted to call and give you a compliment. Say I love what you do, and I really enjoy watching because you have a level head, and you're not, feeding into people's emotions, putting out just fear or hopium. You know what I mean? Like, you're kind of just a sane person that I can flip on and enjoy watching, and I really appreciate that. And it's pretty crazy because, like, in the back of my mind, there's this thought of, like, oh, if I call into this one channel because of its political affiliation, I might be put on some kind of list. And it's amazing to think that we have come to that point. And who knows what list I'm on already. But just wanted to tell you, man, if we go to the gulags, I'd be glad to go beside you.
Well, thank you for that, man. I appreciate you.
Absolutely, man.
All right. Appreciate the call. Great call. But yeah, I just stay myself. I'm always myself. I don't do this to please anyone. I just call it how I see it. And I'm glad you guys can appreciate that. I'm happy that what I say has been able to draw an audience. That's like, to me, it's like a dream. I can't even really believe it half the time. I'm like pinching myself thinking that, people watch me. So I appreciate y'all for being here, watching, subscribing, doing all that good stuff. All right, let's get to some more. All right, let's do 732. You in the line? Who am I speaking to?
ABL, what's going on? My name is
Everything's
Marcus. How you doing?
everything's good, man. What's happening?
Nothing much. Just want to say I love all your content and your stuff. I'm so surprised that I actually got through.
Well, I'm glad you got through, boss.
Yeah, so I had a question. So do you think since the Democrats now are going around attacking the GOP members, do you think that we're going to do the same next year if we take back the House and the Senate?
That's a good question. I think that it could happen like that because that's politics in general. It's always like a tit for tat back and forth, especially now that everything is so divided and you got different things going on, and social media actually is driving the division because you got AOC, she'll go on Twitter and say something, and then Nancy Mace, she'll say something. Now you got Twitter beef, like actually interfering with U.S. politics. The actual government is being run somewhat that way, but it's a natural progression because you got this technology that can be used to spread information to, gain favor for certain things and to influence people to do certain things in a lawful way. So it's going to be a lot more of this as things become more competitive, as we get closer as far as votes. It's going to get nasty. It's going to get dirty. I mean, you've had things that have happened to people. People have gotten hurt behind politics. So you're going to have much more of this on both sides, I think.
So now, do you think there are going to be more of them changing how the rules of voting? This is the only way I guess we can progress, is just changing the voting rules.
Well, I mean, that might end up happening, but I mean, it already did happen. It happened. You're talking about voting just with general elections or voting within government, like among Congress themselves.
Oh no, among Congress themselves.
Well, they're gonna try to do that. They always try to do that. There's always some kind of thing, some kind of motion or something they want to do. That's always gonna be that way. And there have been changes before, so it might be the same thing now, because number one, it always has been, and then number two, there's so much polarization involving the media heavily and social media that it may come to a head to where they try to change things a lot more than normal.
Yeah, I can see that happening. Ugh. All right. Well, that's all I really wanted to call in and ask about. I love watching your show, man. Keep up the good work. Thanks for taking my call.
All right. Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. Take care, brother.
All righty. Great call. Man, that video, that's going on Instagram tonight. Can you please wear a mask? Oh, man. That's hilarious. 516 on the line. I'm speaking to. 516, hello.
Hey, ABL, what's up, buddy?
Everything's good. What's happening?
Oh, that's crazy. I called like 100 times. All right. So I just wanted to know, right? Every time I put out like a good, like economical argument to, the right-wing perspective or anything of that nature, how is it that I always get called a racist? Like somehow, or I don't like minority folk? I don't get it. Why is that their go-to? What, in your opinion? Why is that the thing?
Because people are lazy and they don't want to fight your argument. Are you white?
Yeah, I happen to be white.
Yeah, so I mean that's the go-to argument. It's like, okay, you're a white guy, therefore you're racist. They don't want to explore your argument and actually address it and get down to the bottom of it and say if it's right or if it's wrong, if it'll work, if it won't work. They want to dismiss you because you're white. Now, what I get on my end of it by being black is, oh, you hate yourself. Okay, so they say that you hate black people. They say I hate black people too. But rather than me being racist necessarily, it's about, oh, you got a problem. Go to a therapist and seek help. You see what I'm saying? It's all the same thing. It's all about just trying to dismiss us rather than talking to us and figuring out what's going on. That's a closed-minded, racist person themselves that speaks that way.
Yeah, I feel like they tell me I'm crazy, I need a therapist, and I'm a racist. Every time. It's nuts.
I mean, trust me, like on my end, it's similar, although different because I'm black. You need to talk, who hurt you? You hate your mom, you hate your dad, you hate black people. I get the same thing. That comes from ignorant people that don't know any better. You are the person that has a brain and you can think for yourself, but they don't. They're like, and you notice you get the same kind of reaction from everybody that speaks that way. There's never any real variation. It's always, you're white, you're racist. It's always the same thing. It's like, okay, if you have original thoughts in your head, come with a different argument. But they don't have that because it's all about trying to attack you rather than an argument. That's called ad hominem.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a quote earlier today from Trump. They didn't call him a racist until he ran for president. Oh,
yeah, absolutely. But before he became a Republican and ran for president, he was actually loved in the black community. There were songs about him from rappers, a lot of songs, and then he was very well known in New York City among the black community because he was actually giving out money to black folks to help with their business. There was a story I heard from Judge Joe Brown. He was saying how back in the late 80s, early 90s, he would meet with black business owners, anybody really, but black folks sometimes meet with, about their business plan. And then they would come to him when they couldn't get capital from anywhere. They couldn't get a bank loan. They couldn't get a friend to give him some money to start their business. So they come to Trump with a business plan. And he'd look at it and be like, okay, well, check it out. Here's some money to start your business. Now, all you got to do when you get up and running, Just come back, give me the original amount of money back with no interest, and we call it a day. So they would go out, start their business, and they would come back with the money and, in a check or whatever. And he would take the check, shake their hand, and then burn the check right there, tear it up, and be like, congratulations, start your business. Wouldn't even want the money back. He'd just give you the money. That's what he did back in the 90s in New York City. But now, all of a sudden, that history is gone. He's a racist because he is a conservative.
Yeah, I feel like people are leaning on the government instead of leaning on, charity. We should lean on charity. When you're in the hole, you shouldn't look to the government. You should look to your fellow man type thing. I feel like we lost that totally. I mean, I'm young, but I heard that, back, people used to help each other. And now it's like all fucking, you go and you look to the government for any help. Nobody else is there to help you. It's kind of scary,
Yeah, it is. I mean, charity, that's the little thing. We need to rely more on that, because when you rely on the government, what happens is they get more control in your life, and you have less freedom. With more so-called help, you have less freedom. So it's like, what do we want? Do we want to be free? And do we want to do things on our own with the help from our neighbors if we need it? Or do we want to be up under the government's thumb and be their subjects without much freedom of our own?
All right. Yeah. So I got one serious thing on the way out for you. Do you think we went too far? Do you think there is a turnaround, or do you think we've just gone too damn far? What do you think?
I think we can go the other direction, but I think that it's going to take a lot of us to get, to be aware of what's going on and to go that direction. And if we're not going to go that direction and we just kind of go along and everybody just gives up, then it might be too late.
Yeah, recently I felt kind of hopeless with the Biden administration and everything I saw anecdotally with the election. Nobody asking any questions, but I don't know.
No, we survived. We survived Obama. We're still here. So, it's a lot of us. You had 75 million that voted for Trump, and there's a lot more that maybe they are young and couldn't vote or whatever. So we still got a fighting chance.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you taking the call, man. Thank you.
All right, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you. All righty. But yeah, that's the ad hominem. It's always the same thing. It's never anything different. I get the same stuff all the time. I get these illiterate, all cap, 48-word letters in my email calling me every name up under the sun. It's like, who wrote this? A 12-year-old? It's like, what's going on? Matter of fact, some 12-year-olds have much more sense than these people that are probably like in their 30s in their basement with no plans for their future. But that's a different story, and I digress. Okay, we got some more calls. Oh, yeah, to the callers, please no cursing. That's the rule on the show. Please no cursing. We got little babies watching. 330, you're on line I'm speaking to. Yes.
Hey, ABL, how's it going? I can't believe I got in.
Well, I'm glad you're on, man. What's happening?
Not too much. I just want to give you a shout out. I've been subscribed for a while. I just first time caller, long time listener. Basically, I came across some real crazy information, more or less some real odd coincidences surrounding this election. So just to catch my breath, I'm walking into my place. More or less, Joe Biden became the 46th U.S. president, the last Catholic president. Everyone knows he's Catholic. The last Catholic president was JFK, who died at 46. Beau Biden, Joe's son, he died at age 46. The Catholic Old Testament has 46 books, and that's specific to the Catholic Christianity versus like the Catholic versus the Protestants. They have different books to their Old Testament. So Catholics have specifically 46 books to their Old Testament. Ruth Bader Ginsburg died exactly 46 days before the election. Pope Francis died, or no, I'm sorry, he didn't die. It was his birthday exactly 46 weeks before the election. The Postmaster General put out a warning to 46 states about mail-in ballots, potential fraud, you know what I'm saying, before the election. He's the 59th Postmaster General, and he did it 59 days before the election. So there's a lot of 46 wrapped around this election, and I got it from this channel. He's not really well received on YouTube. He talks about this gematria stuff, but it's gematria effect news. He stands up a lot for the black community and gives a lot of kind of a clarification behind Bible verses and a lot of things that a lot of people are kind of skeptical about. They want to believe it, but they're not too sure. It's like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. But he clears up a lot of quote-unquote conspiracy theory, leaves you with more of conspiracy. So, yeah, I just thought it was weird, this 46 stuff. And I know there's a lot wrapped around this election, but I'm like, man, this all can't be a coincidence. You know, it's just really, really odd. So I thought I'd throw a thought of some really odd things wrapped around this election specifically that I've never seen with any other election. So, yeah, just shouting out to you, man, and all your work. And I saw, like, there's that channel where they had the conservative versus the Democrat or right versus left sit down with people in it was like black YouTubers and black social media icons who are political. And I just can't believe like how people didn't show up to that like you did. You really handled yourself, and I pretty much mopped the floor with everybody else. So just wanted to shout out on that too, man.
Thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Well, have a good night.
All right, same to you. All right, shout out to the caller. And thank you all for being here. We got time for a few more calls, of course. Let's get to 573 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Tyler.
All right, man. What's happening?
Well, I'm kind of wondering if you're feeling like I am a little bit. I'm not trying to get my hopes up too much, but it just seems like some of the narrative across the board isn't working out for the Democrats as of late, you know, especially with the Capitol insurrection. AOC story has been kind of, as they used to say, whack. You've also got this whole thing with the Capitol cop. They're not showing the blunt force trauma at this point, and I'm getting a little encouraged by that to some extent, because we know it's all about the narrative. There's even more on the, and I won't go into great detail about the Hunter Biden laptop, and I believe that was the Gateway Pundit. You can find that out there. I don't know that this is going to turn things around necessarily. We still have to get a free and fair election at some point, I suppose, in 2022 and 2024. I was kind of curious about your thoughts on maybe a little hopefulness for us, what with the Time Magazine article, and then I've got a little anecdote at the end.
Okay, so what's your specific question?
Well, I'm just kind of curious if you're of the mindset I am, where you're maybe a little encouraged that some of this narrative is falling apart. I'm certainly not letting it overtake me to where I think, oh, we've got it in the bag next time. But it just seems like every time these guys make a chess move, they being the Dems, that everything's kind of falling apart, even the Capitol narrative,
Okay.
the Time Magazine article saying too much and so forth.
I got you. So I think that there's a lot that's being revealed little by little. And I figured this would happen. I figured what would happen is this. You have Joe Biden get in there because not enough time to reveal everything that was going on during the election and to unfold some of these things that the media wants to button up and just serve us. So I figured, you know, after a while, things will start to come out because you can't, it's only so long you can just hold this stuff back. People are going to start telling, they're going to leak, they're going to reveal information. You're going to have smoking guns that just appear. So I figured this would happen. And I feel like by the time 2022 comes around, which is just, you know, a little over a year by the time the next elections happen, we're going to know a lot more than what we know right now. So I think that's going to be some hope. And also people are going to come out more and vote once they understand what's going on and get a better grip on what the media did and what other third parties did. So I think we'll have a lot more information as time progresses this year and also next year.
And Anthony, I might go on to say just one more thing. You know, AOC isn't the only one that nearly escaped the jaws of death. True story here. This is a mostly true story. 1998, I was 27 years old. My family and I decided to take a vacation after many years, and we went all the way out to Washington, D.C., almost like the Griswolds without the mishaps in the family truckster wagon. We drove out there and had a great time for 4 or 5 days. We had the tickets to the White House and the Capitol and all of that. On the last day, and I swear on my children, we were there on that last day touring the Capitol. We were in the rotunda and everything. The next day, driving home, we heard on the radio that there had been a shooting at the Capitol. I'm sure Even though you're younger than I, you might remember that. And there had been at least one cop killed. AOC has nothing on my story. I don't know how my stepdad, ABL, how my stepdad drove bravely through steel country of Pennsylvania, how he drove through the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee, and how I tossed and turned in the back of the vehicle, ABL, when I realized we had nearly died in the Capitol just 24 hours before. You know where this is going, my friend.
I do know where it's going, yes.
You know, but you have to laugh at it. She's the kind of person, I guess it's the way of things. Every time somebody takes a dump, they've got to video it with their cell phone and tell the world, and then she gives you a reenactment. It's really sad.
Yeah, it is. It's really pretty pitiful.
Have a good night, my friend.
Thank you for the call. I appreciate you. All right. Hilarious call. Let's get some more here. 780, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello, Anthony.
Hello, what's going on?
This is Liza Jean. I'm doing my impersonation from Canada.
All righty, what's going on?
Impersonation from the First Nation. I just have a quick question for you. Number one, the first thing that I love is the young callers, okay? Number two, have you heard of this? It's got almost 5 million views on YouTube. It's Fake Woke by Tom McDonald.
Yes, I have heard about that. Brandon did a reaction to it. I've not watched it yet. Like, people told me about this last time. I've not watched it yet, but I need to watch it and do my own reaction possibly.
I think that would be really valuable. I was pretty freaked out by his looks, and I think when you watch the video, you'll see it, but the lyrics are absolutely brilliant, and I think it deserves a listen, you know.
Definitely.
Okay, so that's what I have to say. We're all still alive. You know, everyone, lockdowns are pretty bad here in Canada. Essential travel only. I was just stopped by the police. They're giving out fines, but I don't know. I look for hope wherever I can. And like a lot of your callers give me hope in the fact that you are on the right track and you just keep steaming ahead. You're a wonderful example. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the compliment.
Okay. Talk to you later. Bye.
All right, now. All righty. Thank you, Liza Jean, for calling in. And let's get to some more here. All righty, on the line, we're speaking to 207.
Hey, ABL, can you hear me okay?
I hear you well.
All right, how you doing tonight, my man?
Doing pretty good, can't complain.
Good. So, couple things for you. It's super funny that you played those videos about those girls freaking out about the masks. Me and my wife were in Walmart, local Walmart, like last week, and this is the second time this happened to me. Some lady, I don't know where it is, the grocery store. This lady walked by, had my mask on, just regular.
Hold on, caller. I got noise in the background. Is this something like scraping or something?
No, is that okay? I just got headphones and it might have hit my jacket. Can you hear me okay now?
Yep. Yeah, you're fine. Go ahead.
Sorry about that. I was my jacket on the mic. So the lady says to me, fix your mask, please. And I said, fix my mask? Like, what do you want me to do? She says, can you please pull your mask up? And that was the second time that happened to me. Another time the lady told me to pull my mask up too. I'm like, what do you want to pull it up over my eyes? So these people with the masks are getting way, way, way out of control.
You know, it's weird. I think it depends on where you live, because where I'm at, I've never been approached about mask wearing or wearing it properly, improperly. Nobody, it's like one of those things nobody really enforces. Like I was telling the audience before, the police chief got on TV and said that we're not going to enforce the mask mandate. And I've never seen it actually enforced. So it's all really just about, like, based upon where you live and the politics in your area, really.
Yeah, that's so weird. I live up in the Northeast, and it wasn't really, masks weren't really a big deal here until they started making them. Like, I used to, go out and I'll wear one, and, a lot of people would be, and it wasn't a big deal. Then just in the past few months, you got people saying, pull your mask up, put your mask on. It's like, what? Come on now. So that's getting out of control. So those videos were spot on. And real quick, have you seen that TikTok video about that young white kid? He's a liberal, and he starts going on about how he's a racist, and every white person's a racist, and we've been indoctrinated, and he's the oppressor. Have you seen that yet?
I have seen that, and it just illustrates everything I say. It's like he's admitting it right there. See, but the thing is, he's doing a lot of different things. First of all, he's saying that he's racist and being honest, so I gotta give him credit for that. But he he is validating what I say about the white liberals that think the way he thinks. They're racist, but they don't want to see it that way, and he does not see it that way either. He just thinks that he is what the cool kids say woke. He is somebody that is progressive and wants the best of people, but he doesn't realize that he's actually the exact thing that he says he's against. He doesn't see it because in his mind, what he's doing is correct.
100%. And it was just this virtue signaling gone so wrong. And I actually, Eric July, Young Ripper, he made a video on his YouTube channel about it, tore this kid apart. His reaction to that was absolutely priceless. So yeah, that's great. And you're 100%. Everything you just said was absolutely spot on. The kid kind of had it backwards, but he's absolutely right on that.
Right.
So anyway, thank you. I just real quick. So I started my own YouTube channel a couple months ago, and I actually made a video yesterday about you and Brandon Tatum. So if you want to check that out, or any fans want to check that out, I definitely use some love and support on the channel, and it just tells how you, Brandon Tatum, and Candace Owens are some great content to listen to if you want to get some real facts. And unfortunately, if you're a white person trying to speak that language, they just throw the whole race card at you. But you guys can throw the facts down, and they can't really play that too much on you guys. So I made a video about that, just giving you guys a shout out. So if anyone wants to check that out, I could definitely use the support. So I appreciate it, ABL. Thank you so much for taking my call, man. It was great talking to you. Keep doing what you're doing, man. You're opening up a lot of eyes.
Well, thank you. And before you go, what is your channel so I can give you a shout out?
Oh, yeah, that might help. It's Mike versus everyone. Mike, and then the little VS, and then everyone after that.
All righty, man. Well, thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you so much, ABL. Take care. Stay blessed, my man.
All right, now you too.
Bye.
So the channel is Mike versus everyone. Again, Mike versus everyone. All right, now that video he was talking about, I do have it, of course. And I need to do a reaction. I'm kind of slipping. I need to do a reaction. I got to do a reaction to this video and a reaction to the Tom McDonald thingamabobber. All right, let's go over here. And this is the video he was speaking about. Shout out to Still Gray, also known as Ian Miles Chong. The caption is funny. He was like, "This is the future of all white leftists, self-loathing and cuckery." Hilarious caption. All right, let's check it out. And shout out to Camellia for the video, the original video that she got from TikTok.
Exactly. I am the oppressor. I am racist. Oh my God, he just said he's racist. It shouldn't be this hard, you guys. If you live in America, went to school, participate in the socioeconomic structures, participate in any sort of system, education, business, entertainment, what have you, and you are white, you are indoctrinated, you are oppressive, and yes, you are racist. It is something that we have learned, either consciously or subconsciously, all of us as white Americans. And what we have to do is unlearn that. I'm trying to do the work. Part of doing the work is pushing against dangerous narratives that are counterintuitive to that unlearning.
Okay, I forgot. I probably did show this already, but if you didn't see it already, I'm playing it to you again. One thing that I remember from the last time I showed this was the cringy words, "do the work." And what's up with this? Like, are you moving invisible eyebrows? You're like up here. Like, what is that head movement? What is it all about? But let's keep on going.
White people are also oppressed by racism. We're not. We are the oppressors. That's the point.
So basically, it's like, look, we're not the peons. We are the kings. You are the peons. See, the difference between him and the white supremacist is it's a thin line between this dude and the straight white supremacist because they have the same beliefs. A white supremacist believes that they are superior, they are the top race, they are the top dogs, and they can oppress others. He believes the exact same thing. The difference is that he feels guilty about it. Okay, he's the kind of guy that lets you just punch him in the face because he feels so guilty. While the white supremacist just revels in that and they want to just further it. But a regular person does not think about who's superior or inferior. He just think about, okay, I'm over here taking care of my kids. I'm over here getting money. I'm just minding my business. Okay, I can protect myself, and that's pretty much it. He's not thinking about, okay, I'm superior or inferior. Superiority is as dangerous as a superiority complex is as dangerous as an inferiority complex. If you got a superiority complex, you want to try to be the dad and have this kind of like paternal type thing and dominate and rule over others. Okay, if you have the inferiority complex, you always searching for somebody to take care of you. You're just a permanent child rather than being an adult once you get to be of age to be an adult.
You should be doing the unlearning too. Do the work.
All the clapping and stuff and the oversized shirt is like this. This guy right here. He needs prayer because what's going to happen. I see his future. I'm like a what they call it, a Miss Cleo, the sage or fortune teller. This dude is going to be your next Bruce Jenner, guaranteed. Okay, your hair is already kind of long. I see it. You wearing the kind of like boyfriend shirt. You already pretty much you halfway there already. He might not even be gay, but he feel like he has so much guilt and he feels like he has so much power he doesn't want. He may go the other direction to have less power. I see it in him already. If you see him in 2 years and he has you see some kind of transitional stuff type happening, you already know what's going on. Or he may go a different direction and tighten himself up. But the time is right now, sir. If you're watching this, the time is right now to tighten up because you could go. You got two ways you can go. You could be a regular normie, get a wife and kids, all that kind of good stuff, or you could become Bruce Jenner and be a burlesque dancer or something like that, shaking it around. So what you want to do? Choice is yours. But I digress. All right. Let's get to some more calls here. The number to call 434-658-1220. And this show will be available as an audio-only podcast on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether that be Apple iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor. And a link for that will be in the description box below. Also, just searching me on those platforms, ABL Live. I should pop right on up. 601 on the line. I'm speaking to.
Hey, is this ABL?
Yes, it is.
Oh, you're that black Republican. Who told you to think for yourself?
You said what now?
I said you're a black Republican. Who told you to think for yourself?
Well, hey, it's the way it is now. It's like I got to get some kind of license to think for myself because it's almost illegal.
Yeah, I don't know who told you to do that. I guess you went to the DMV and they let you slide. Nah. Not to mess with you. Hey, I'm Justice, though. I'm the one that you probably know. Justice Smith sent you the super chats.
Okay, what's going on?
Yeah, I talked to you on super chat. I'm the Marine and police officer. I've been to Norfolk. I was in Dam Neck, Oceana. It's pretty nice out there in Virginia Beach.
Yeah.
I miss it though out there. I think I was gonna get through. To be honest with you. What I want to talk about. If I was somebody that never voted, how would you persuade me to vote for Trump if he was going to run in 2024?
Well, I would appeal to what you are wanting. I would ask you questions, really. If somebody said, okay, why should I vote Trump? And I would ask them, okay, what's important to you? Because when you voting, it's about what is going to help you. What do you hold valuable? What do you hold dear to you that the country can offer or can make easier for you to be able to do, because if he's like, okay, I'm trying to start a business. All right, well, if you're trying to start a business, do you want to pay high taxes or lower taxes? If you want to pay high taxes and you want to have a harder time starting, then vote Biden. If you want to pay low taxes and have an easier time starting, vote Trump. Simple. Okay, do you want to see men in the bathroom with women? Vote Biden. If you don't want to see that, vote Trump. Now, you can only do so much from the federal level, but still, you can make it more difficult to have men in a women's bathroom when you got a real guy in there that can lead. So certain little social things, certain little things with money especially, if you want a better leader in the federal government that can make life easier for you by getting out of the way and not being so restrictive, then vote for Trump. If you want more government, taxes, high taxes, vote Biden.
See, it's crazy because, being here in Mississippi, I have conservative values, but at the same time, I'm just going to be honest with you, wearing the face mask, it doesn't bother me because, my uncle, he just passed because of that. He wasn't fat. He wasn't he wasn't old. He just died from it. I had COVID, and I'm 23, and I ran track all my life and stuff, so I'm very healthy. So it's like certain things like that I don't mind. So, and gun restrictions, like I own guns, but at the same time, some people just shouldn't have them. I think the rule should be a little enforced for who owns weapons. So it's kind of like I'm not Republican, but I'm conservative because I have that mindset. But at the same time, I do agree with Democratic values because you can't be naive. You can't say you don't agree with Democrats because you're with this party. So even though what they say might be factual and true through statistics, what they believe in actually helps their society. You can't deny that. So that's why I always vote. I'm registered independent because I can go both ways. Pause. But I can go both ways.
So, but like when it comes time to vote, how do you normally vote? Like on average, the majority of the time.
I only voted one time. Like I said, I just turned 23.
Oh, okay.
So the first time that I was able to vote, I went to boot camp. So this is actually the first time I was able to vote, and I voted for our state senator. I voted for Mike Epsy. I don't know if you know who that is. It was Cindy Hod Smith and Mike Epsy. I did vote for him, but I didn't. I'll be honest, I didn't vote for presidents. I just can't. I know some people say pick the lesser of two evils, but evil is still evil at the end of the day. So I don't agree with that.
I mean, at the end of the day. At the end of the day, you got to vote for somebody because somebody's going to win. So if you don't participate, it don't even matter because somebody's going to win. So you could say that you had a hand in it or not. And you're going to have somebody that's going to have their policies affect you. So you should have a voice in it. I mean, that's just my opinion, though. I mean, because if you could choose between, if right now you could choose between Biden and Trump, who would you rather pick? Who would you rather be in office, Biden or Trump?
Well, I think Biden needs to run for 4 years so I can answer that.
But no, I mean, based upon what you know right now about both candidates, who would you rather have in office right now today, Biden or Trump? Because you got to pick one because if you don't pick, it'll be picked for you. So who would you rather have?
Okay. Policy-wise, maybe Trump. But I don't agree with all of the stuff he says and the Proud Boys. And all right, I know you don't really have a problem with the Proud Boys, but I watched this guy. You know who he is, Philip Scott, Africa Dot Sport.
Yeah, I know
you
Phil.
Know who he is. You debated him. He does a lot of videos. Like I said, I watch you and him religiously. And I'll be honest with you, you're a smart guy, but the Proud Boys, and from the stuff that he shows me, the videos and the leaked stuff that they do, those ain't, that's not a, nah, that.
But I mean,
people like that,
but what does the Proud Boys got to do with, what is the Proud, how do the Proud Boys and Trump link up though? How does that really happen?
Why do they support him?
I mean, so what though? I mean, you can't control who supports you.
You kind of gotta, you can't.
How can you control who votes for you? Because I mean, who votes for? I mean, because we had the dude named Ed Buck. You know who Ed Buck is?
Is he in Tennessee?
Huh?
Is he in Tennessee?
No. Okay, I'm gonna tell you who Ed Buck is. Ed Buck is a big time Democratic donor. You're talking about millions in donation money. This man killed 2 black people in his apartment, tried to kill a third one, but was unsuccessful. And what he was doing was he had a fetish where he would inject them with drugs, see how they react. These would be like street prostitutes. So he was a gay male with gay male black escorts, and he had black men specifically in his apartment. He had one guy injecting them with drugs. He died. Another one, I think he died, and the other one escaped. And it was in less than 1 year where 2 black men died. It pictures of him with Hillary Clinton, big time Democratic donor. So if you're going to say that if you're going to talk about Trump and the Proud Boys linking together, let's do the same thing with Ed Buck, killing 2 black men, try to kill another black man. He's in jail right now. Matter of fact, you can look it up. Ed Buck, EDBUCK. He's in jail right now for that, killing 2 black men. So I've not heard about the Proud Boys killing anybody. Have you?
Personally, no.
But we got Ed Buck, Democratic donor, Hillary Clinton's friend. They all in the same circles, and St. Epstein, all these guys. I mean, we can't just say because somebody support somebody, that person that they support is somehow responsible. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, hold on. Okay. So you're saying we're both smart. I'm pretty sure you got okay. I'm pretty smart. I got a computer networking degree. I know that being bad doesn't mean that you got to kill somebody. So, like, are you saying just because they didn't kill anybody, it means they're not bad?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if we're going to do that, I'm just saying.
Anybody doesn't mean they can't go to jail.
I'm just saying if we're going to do that, if we're going to link the Proud Boys to Trump because the Proud Boys support Trump, which not all of them do, because I saw some of them on TV saying they don't vote Trump, but that's really irrelevant. But if we're going to say that the Proud Boys support Trump and then that casts a bad light on Trump, then we got to say the same thing about this murderer that killed black men, a white man that killed black men, and had got pleasure out of it that supports the Democratic Party. You got to say that too. So at that point, it kind of cancels out. So we can't even use that argument. We got to talk about what the people that are running do and who's better than the other. So if you had to pick, aside from attaching people to them because they vote for them or support them, who is the better person to vote for when you're talking about just running the country and the policy? Because that's what matters, right?
I want it policy-wise. I probably would say Trump.
There we go. That's it. Boom. That's it. So we on the same page. That's all that really matters.
Not all policies, though. He doesn't. There's some stuff I still don't agree. But at the end of the day, you can pick somebody. You're not going to agree with everything that they do.
Exactly.
There's stuff Joe Biden's done so far that I do agree with. That's why I said we got to wait till 4 years.
What are you going to wait on? He's been in government since 1972. What you going to wait on that you don't know already? 1972, man. Come on.
A senator and a president are the same thing, though.
But he has the same what is he going to do differently? What's he going to do differently?
Well, I mean, I don't think he's going to do anything. I think people in the back of him are going to do something. But they have agendas. Same as Republicans, they have agendas.
So if it's not him, then it don't even matter. It's a party that matters. So at that point, you're not voting for the person, you're voting for the party. So then you got to just move the question to what's the better party, policy wise. And I think that if you talk about the Democratic Party, we know what they're about: abortion, killing babies, illegal aliens, giving them amnesty, open borders, high taxes. I mean, we know what they're about: killing jobs, lockdowns. We know what they're about. But on the other side, we know what we're about. We're about more liberty and less restrictions and ease of access to capital to be able to start business. That's what we're about. So
yeah, but they both come with a price.
I mean, ain't nothing free in the world, but what's better? One is better than the other. You could say that they're not perfect, and that's fine. Nothing is perfect, but which one is better is the question. That's what matters.
Okay. I do have one more question if I have time.
Just go ahead. You got a little bit of time. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Well, I have two questions. Where's Ivan?
I don't know. What's your next one?
Okay. So, do you believe in white supremacists?
Do I do what now?
Believe in white supremacy?
Nah, I don't.
You don't?
Nah, I don't believe that white people are superior to me.
Okay, I don't either. But do you believe? Funny how you twisted that. Okay, let me rephrase it. Do you believe that white people believe in white supremacists?
Well, I don't know every white person. Maybe some people do, but I don't. I can't quantify that with a number.
Okay, I'll let you slide, but I'm just going to say that that's like one of the only things I don't agree with you on. I've been watching your show for 3 years. I don't agree with you being in Mississippi. These people here, I have neighbors. They will tell you that it's a real thing. Like, they have the rebel flags here. They believe in racism. There's Ku Klux Klan. My friend was in Petal, and she recorded a whole video of the Ku Klux Klan last year in 2020 in the roads near Leeville, Petal, and it's in Petal. That's just one thing you and Brandon Tatum. He said they don't exist, and I just don't. I'm like, bro, y'all need to get out of. He needs to get out of Arizona. And I know you're in Tennessee now. But
wait a minute now. I've been traveling. And let's be clear. Be clear where was I born? Charleston, West Virginia. Okay, my aunt is from Gulf. Wait, hold on. My aunt is from Gulfport, so I know about your area. I know about. I got family out there, so I know about the area. I know about Hattiesburg and all that. I know all about that area. And I'm out here in Tennessee. It's a bordering state of Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I know about the South and whatnot. But the question is, okay. What is
It's deeper
the
than you think.
wait, hold on. I'm gonna ask you a question. Where is the greater danger going to come from when you're talking about your life as a, are you black?
I'm biracial.
Okay, so if you go to Jackson, where is the danger going to be coming from? The white supremacist or a black person? Honestly,
Where's the what gonna come from?
danger.
The danger?
Yeah, in Jacktown and Jackson.
Jacktown, you're funny. So of course, of course, the black people, because there's majority black people. It's
Now,
like
in the entire state as a whole, including Jackson, Gulfport, Meridian, the whole state, even close to Memphis, where is the majority of the danger going to come from in the whole state as an average?
Well, it depends where you live, because I live in Hattiesburg.
No. I said the whole state as an average. The whole state, not just where you live, but the entire state.
I'm gonna say lower income areas.
No. You're not. You're trying to rephrase the question. I'm talking about the entire state.
I like to look at the statistics on that. I can only go by
Come
the
on,
people that I deal with.
let's be honest.
Well, the people that I deal with is majority white.
Let's be
If
honest.
you live in Jackson, it's gonna be majority black.
Come on.
It depends where you live at here in Mississippi.
Let's not. We know what's going to come from. It's not going to be from the Klan or white supremacists. They're not just riding around killing everybody black. It's going to be black people. That's where the danger is going to come from. Unfortunately,
Okay, but
it's just a reality.
Okay, but what's more dangerous, a person that's in Congress or the person that's on the street selling 10 grams of marijuana? Who's actually more dangerous?
Well,
The person that can make laws that can affect you, or the 27-year-old named Joe Dirt that's selling marijuana to another guy named Dennis? Who's more dangerous?
Well, I've not made that argument at all.
I'll tell you right now, them street level guys are not dangerous.
Oh, okay.
I got to do my job, but they're not. They won't scare me as much as the person that's racist, that's making these laws that affect the majority or the minority of people that are oppressed.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, when I'm out in the street and I'm just doing my business or whatever, I'm not looking out for the guy in Congress. Okay, I'm not worried about Marsha Blackburn or Bill Lee or Tuck Fleischman or anybody else or Jim Coppins or my mayor. I'm not worried about them. I'm worried about the dude with the pistol down in East Chattanooga or something like that. That's what I'm worried about. I'm not worried about the congressman. I'm worried about the guy that has a gun right immediately in my area. That's what I'm worried about. The dangerous person, the uneducated person that will just kill you for nothing. That's what I'm worried about. And the reality is most of the danger is not coming from the white supremacists. I'm not afraid of no white supremacists. I'm not worried about that. I see dudes in the Klan outfit, I laugh. They're not no threat. The threat is right where we know it's at. It's unfortunate and it shouldn't be that way, but that's the reality. Hey, this has been a good call, man. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, I appreciate it.
All right, shout out to the caller. Good call. That was a long one, but I wanted just to get that out there. But yeah, thank y'all for being here. I'm going to cut the calls right there. But yeah, that was a good one. I mean, look, the reality is the people in Congress are no threat. Like the actual danger, Mississippi, I mean, come on. Like, where danger is coming from. You might have some random guys dressing up Halloween costumes or whatever, but that's not the real danger. Okay. So I thank y'all for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. I appreciate y'all for joining. If you enjoyed what you're hearing so far, if you enjoyed the show tonight, please give the video a thumbs up, give the video a like. And if you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and do that as well. And click the bell so you get notified whenever I go live and or post a new video. All right. And shout out to the mods. We got Bill from the Hills. We got Elijah Jean, who was in here earlier. We got Zadochi's King Sword, Charles Hunter Jr. We got everybody in here. Thank y'all for keeping the chat in check. I got super chats on deck, and then I'm going to get on out of here. All right. So let's get to, where was I at last time? Okay. And this is weird the way they did it. There's no timestamps on it. I got to just kind of scroll. But anyway, first world problems. Okay. Shout out to Amelia for your donation. Thank you to Mason who says 380 days of knowing about the virus. I've used the mask 5 times. Chinese virus. Okay, I think I know where I'm at now. All right. Shout out to Drunken Yoda who says life has a 100% death rate. Exactly. Frank says, what are we up against, ABL? A friend of mine actually said to me, Biden lies to tell the truth. Okay. The friend says Biden lies to tell the truth. What? Does that make any sense at all? No, it doesn't. And they said it with a straight face. Yep, we are in trouble. Thank you for that. Thank you to Louis from Spain who says, to Alicia Keys, another way to be killed if you're black in America is by voting for the Democratic Party because they teach you how to be a victim. Facts. Thank you to Rustic Patriot who says, I guess they think if a COVID spore flies around the mask and hits you in the forehead, it bounces off. And as long as a toilet, door, car handle, etc. is okay, if it's been cleaned recently, mask equals a joke. Exactly. Buff vs. Windshield says, I have a hard time blaming the youth for leftism. They have been brainwashed. We need to tell them that too. It's not your fault. You've been lied to. Craig Harrison says, just want to say, keep doing what you do. You offer a voice of reason. If I want unadulterated truth, I tune into ABL or the Truth Report via Ron Paul. Yeah, and shout out to Ron Paul. He does a really good job on that show. Excellent job. Shout out to him. All right. Thank you to Leo Mazzino who says, Candace Owens 2024. Yes, indeed. Charles Hunter Jr. says, these people on the left generally refuse to actually engage because they cannot legitimately defend their ideas. They're always on the offense. Exactly. Craig Harrison says, here's five for bringing up Trump in the 80s and 90s. Wake up. Exactly. Yeah, Trump was always the guy. The black community loved him. But then when he became conservative Republican and ran for president, all of a sudden he's orange man bad. You know, it's funny how things like that happen, how things change so quickly. Buff vs. Windshield says, how smart is AOC? Watch 54-second clip on the tubes. AOC garbage disposal. Wow. I saw that clip. That was funny back in the day. Thank you to Matthew who says, did you hear about Canada's COVID concentration hotels in 11 cities? And shout out to fellow Canadian Liza Jean. If you got a COVID fine, Concept Rebel News at fightthefines.com. Mike says, ABL making America great again. There you go. Thank you to Matthew who says, Ryan Long made a funny video about woke and racist people. Craig Wadding says, the guy in the oppressor video looks like Harry Potter and Lumberjack had a baby. Beta Potter. Hilarious. Hilarious. Jedi 2 million says, what do you think of George Floyd on a $20 bill? That's just silly. That ain't going to happen. And he also says, just playing. Exactly. Thank you to Debo who says, David Wood, Act 17 Apologetics, was that 500,000 subs? Released a new video today. Why Orwell wrote 1984. Relevance to today's totalitarianism. Watch it, ABL fam. All right, I'll check it out. Thank you to Bernadette's post for your donation. Shout out to Charles Hunter Jr. who says mainstream mediocres, saying the right run on conspiracy theories, quote unquote, are just gaslighting and projecting. Communists always engage in projection. Facts. Big time facts. Shout out to Theophrastus who says, Fortified equals stolen. Hey, I didn't say it. You did. Thank you for your donation. And thank you to Family 53511 for your donation. I appreciate you. All righty. Thank y'all for being here tonight. I will be back again live on Wednesday. And I'm going to try to do my Instagram live tomorrow. You know, if you guys don't follow me on Instagram, go ahead and do that right now. Instagram.com/Anthony B. Logan. And if you have any questions that you cannot get through and ask me, any kind of, advice about whatever you want, it could be relationship, political, or whatever. I want you guys to call in to, well, not call in. Instagram, you got to just video into the Instagram tomorrow. Try to do like right around 8 or 9 p.m. Right around then. Oh, Super Bowl Sunday. I forgot. So after the game, I'm going to go live. How about that? After the game, I'm going to go live on the Instagrams, and we could do it that way. All right. So Instagram.com/Anthony B. Logan. The game is right there. Who you guys got in the game tomorrow? I say go Bucks. Shout out to Tom Brady. Hey, you know what? Tom Brady says he wants to play until he turns, guess what age? Until he's 45 years old. Hey, big troll, but I love it. So shout out to Tom Brady, the GOAT. Okay, we almost won when you had my man Randy from West Virginia, from Rand University, my original hometown where I was born. We almost won. That little Victor Cruz behind the head, nonsense, act of God, but I digress. So I got Tom Brady and the Bucks winning, all-time great. And play to 45 years old, it'd be the biggest troll in the world. And thank you, Junkin Yoda, who says in the hood we had 25-year up strip clubs for a reason. If you had a 40 and up club, we ain't hear none of this color stuff. Exactly. There you go. Keep all the the riffraff out. But that's all I got. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.